With TSD Talks.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Pillar of Garbage podcast. I'm an AI recreation of AJ's voice from the Costco guys. With me as always is my co-host, an AI recreation of Big Justice. Hey TSD.
We ring the boom. I don't know any of his other catchphrases, but we're Costco guys. We always get a chicken
Hey
bake.
Big Justice. Do you want the chicken bake, the double chunk chocolate cookie, or a glue pizza?
I'll take the double chunk chocolate cookie. But what's that on the horizon? Is that an AI recreation?
It's a guest. It's an AI recreation of the Rizzler. That's you, Connor McDowell. Welcome to the show.
Rizzler. I don't remember what he sounds like.
Have you seen that video of like?
He's doing his Rizz face.
Have you seen that video of like the AJ? I can't remember who's AJ and who's Big Justice.
So
You're
Big
Big
Justice
I'm
is the
AJ.
kid. AJ is the dad. Come on, what are we doing?
Okay.
You should know this.
There's a have you seen that clip of Big Justice then on like a stream with a bunch of other people plus the Rizzler, and then like the Rizzler says something and like AJ's like, yeah, what do you think of that, Christian? He like says his real name.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
when he dead names him.
And then he just like,
When he
Absolutely.
totally just dead named him out of nowhere. That
Yeah,
was
is that a
so
dox or is it a
uncalled
dead
for.
name? Or is it both?
It's probably both. I mean, we know him as the Rizzler, so it's both a dox and a dead name, I think.
but the look that the Rizzler gives
Yeah, I
him after
mean-
that tells me that Big Justice is not long for this world.
Yeah, he's probably dead.
People always talk about the Matrix as like the allegory for sort of coming out and becoming the new you. But I think really, you know, the Costco guys universe, that is the new kind of frontier.
Yeah. Well, now they've got an
Oh,
AI
I
recreation.
absolutely 100% agree with you on that.
Take the Rizz pill.
Well, now I guess kind of a semi-proper introduction then. So there's us, there's the two boys, the podcast hosts, and we've also got our new guest, Connor McDowell.
Yo, what's up? What's up?
What are you like our I want to say like sixth guest at this point?
And
Yeah, I think so.
sixth male guest.
That's true. No
We are
women
6
yet.
for 6 on gender. Sexism.
This is... What the heck, guys? This is completely unacceptable.
It really is. Like, I know you're joking a bit, but it kind of is ridiculous at this point.
You know, we're video essay / commentary YouTubers. It's a boys club. We're just, we're playing up to the genre, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to get like I've been trying to get Athena P on the podcast, but like her schedule
that'd be sick.
is nuts. So, and
Oh, I don't doubt it.
like and also she doesn't really know how to use Discord. So,
Honestly fair.
but you know,
I didn't know how to until like 2-3 years ago.
which is wild because I was in your server 2-3 years ago. I was there.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't know how to use Discord.
Were you a TeamSpeak baby like me, or were you just an unfamiliar
I
kinda-
used Zoom,
Okay, fair.
and maybe Skype, but that was it.
Skype
I
is so
didn't-
2013 coded.
Look, when I was 13 in 2013, right? Like I can't just leave that behind. That's kind of who I am.
Yeah.
now. Who you are
Respect.
at
I
13
mean,
is
the
who
numbers
you
are
are
the
for
same
the rest
numbers.
of your life. No, exactly.
That is true. I know that. I mean, the only reason I did that silly intro bit was, long-time listeners will remember last episode was the brain rot intro, but I forgot to do the double chunk chocolate cookie voice. So, I think we will all agree that it was worth sort of laboriously dragging us through the doors of the digital Costco to get to that.
Oh, but I do like the digital Costco though. I mean, they have digital double chunk chocolate cookies. So like there's
Yeah.
nothing that I could complain about.
I haven't actually.
And they got that digital wall of TVs, I gather.
Oh.
I don't know. Literally my only exposure to Costco as like a cultural force is through the Costco guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Pillar. Is there Costco's in Britain?
Honestly, there might be. I don't even really know. I feel like maybe there are some, but it's kind of like you have to have a corporate card. So they're kind of like an upper class business owner type thing where you buy in bulk. Or maybe I'm just mixing it up with a similarly named shop.
It feels like an American institution, kind of Costco.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I've never been to Costco.
Am I the only one who's actually been to Costco?
Well, I've been to other versions of Costco. Like the Costco that I go to is called BJ's.
Yo,
that's a great.
I wish I was joking.
Yeah, we should have
but
BJ.
we can't.
You should have been a BJ guy.
For short, which is called BJ's.
I'm really excited to visit the digital BJ's.
I think they already have that.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, everyone listening at home, go to www.com/digitalbj right now and see what comes up.
The double chunk chocolate cookie. It's just different. It means something else.
Yeah. I've got to say though, actually going to Costco, you start to understand like why the Costco verse is like that so much, like why they're like that. Like Costco is like a different universe once you're inside there. It's like,
I'm sorry,
like
but that's just what New Jersey is like.
It's true.
Like that's literally just what Jersey is.
I have family that lives in New Jersey, but they're like old rich white people, so I don't really go to like the New Jersey part of New Jersey. It's more like the Ocean City, like people who live by the bay in like $1 million houses. So I've never actually like experienced.
My favorite part of Jersey.
And also it's a wild cultural difference, just because like because when I think of New Jersey I think of that part, but that's obviously not anywhere near close to the majority or representative of what New Jersey is actually like.
Oh no, not at all. I mean, New Jersey is such a melting pot, right? You get like the Jersey Shore, but then you also get, like you were saying, the rich white people.
I do like the boardwalk. But then you also
get... No, the boardwalk is pretty sick. But if you go to South Jersey, it's basically Kentucky. it's crazy racist.
I'm just sat
here
nodding sagely.
Yeah.
Yes, Kentucky. I know what that is. That's where they have the chicken.
It's true. They do have good chicken.
Did you see that the reason that KFC branded to KFC was because they wanted to take the Kentucky association out for international markets because people didn't know what the fuck Kentucky was?
I just assumed it was because they like stopped using even like 30% real chicken. I think the version that went around in England is they can't call it Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore because it's just sludge.
It is fried.
Well, of course that's what you would think, you Brits. You guys care about stuff like that. I don't.
While we're speaking about digital BJs,
I didn't know we were still talking about that.
What a heck of a segue! Yeah, I'm excited to see where this one leads.
It reminds me of this one time there was this site that was called Wicked.com that was on the back of the Wicked of like these.
So funny thing about that. The person that exposed that it was an adult website, she's a Lego YouTuber that I watch very frequently. So it was like a crazy like crossing of worlds right there.
It's kind of like that one time that there was this is a lot more dark than that, but there was that like unsolved like murder case in the UK or something, and then it turned out that the person who committed it was like this like Doctor Who toys review YouTuber, and like his
what the fuck?
No, this is 100% real.
That's so funny. I've never heard that before.
It's I think it's Vote Saxon 08 or something like that. And the reason that it became up in the news is because his alibi was that he pre-recorded a GTA live stream to play during the time he was going to commit the murder.
That is amazing.
Okay, wait, that's actually kind of
though.
really smart, though.
It seems really smart until you watch the stream, and it's like the whole time he's just like, "Oh man, sorry, I can't see the chat because of technical issues. Oh man, sorry."
Yeah.
And
no.
like just drawing a lot of attention to the fact that this is a weird stream, and it's not like a stream he would do normally, and like, it sounds ridiculous. Like honestly, the actual story is kind of scary, like just a little bit like haunting. There's actually a good
that sounds pretty horrifying.
There's a good video.
That's actually why we pre-record these podcast episodes, so I can go out and kill people.
They will use that in court. I hope you know that.
There's a good video by I want to say Spaceman Scott, who was a fan of the YouTuber, about talking about like, hey, this is what happened. Also, my favorite YouTuber was a murderer. Isn't that wild? Anyway, I don't know how we got on this tangent. I was trying to talk about Wicked.
I think it was the segue was BJ's somehow. I don't know how we got here either.
I guess, you know what? I think that I'll take a step back and I'll say, how will we talk about our guest Connor McDowell? And hey, Connor McDowell, you make videos, but you don't make the exact kind of videos that Pillar makes, and the videos that I used to make at this rate. What do you do? What is your kind of deal?
Sell yourself to the 30 people listening who haven't heard of you.
So I like to make commentary videos on current like things that are happening in culture, but I like to put more of a political spin on things. I always try to tie current events to politics in some kind of way. But I also don't only talk about politics. I don't mean to say like I'm a political YouTuber. I'm not that at all. I make dumb comedy videos on the internet. I'm just some dude that likes to yap. But
you don't shy away from politics.
No, exactly. Like for my review for Red 1 that I just put out, I made the video about the war on Christmas. And then at the end, I kind of did a review for Red 1. Just because I've realized that that's kind of what my audience enjoys watching.
Yeah, he loves watching a lot of content about the war on Christmas that they're worried about.
I have a question, actually, about your process.
Yeah.
How much of it is like pre-prepared? Do you like script stuff out, or is it like bullet points or what?
It depends on the video. A lot of times I just kind of have the tabs open for what I need to talk about, and I'll switch back and forth between the tabs and just kind of ramble for a little bit and then try to edit it into something more coherent. But that's just because I'm a writer, I'm a playwright, but I'm not good at like I guess the word is creative nonfiction. So like essay writing and stuff. Like I'm just not good at it. But I still like making videos and talking about things. And I get really, really scared when I script things. So I just said, fuck the scripts. I'm just gonna talk. And I find
super interesting.
It's just so much more easy for me to just ramble for a little bit and try to find a through line later on. Even though I've gotten a lot better and I can usually edit something down pretty fast.
Yeah. Because for me, it's like the total opposite. I kind of can't I don't even know what I think about something until I write it out and try and sort of pass through it into a script. So I thought you were going to say at least you sort of bullet point at stuff, because
I do sometimes.
I've tried to do,
Oh, no, what were you saying? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say I've done a few videos, I did one kind of recently, but I've only done a few like this because they just don't work for me, where I've tried to go off bullet points and stuff and then, ramble, cut it together in the edit. And it's so interesting that even in, genres as kind of similar as ours, they're not the same. But it's so interesting that you get to an endpoint that kind of plays generally the same way with such a different process. I don't know. It's just I that's really impressive to me that you can just kind of free flow yap,
Well, I don't consider what I do to be like video essays or anything. I know a lot of like commentary slop YouTube channels that do similar things that I do.
Yeah.
Say like, oh, I make video essays. No, I just talk in front of a camera. You know what I mean? Like I was, when I first started, every single thing I did was meticulously scripted out. Like even like I would even script out the jokes that I would make in between like dumb video clips I was showing. But I got to a point where it just made me the prospect of having to script out literally every single thing that I was going to say made me so unbelievably anxious that I just couldn't do it anymore. I ended up taking like a really, really big break. I mean, there were other reasons why I took the break, but like the break definitely did help me.
Physical breaks even.
Yes, literal physical breaks that happened in my body, but
nice.
You know, once I came back, I decided to just kind of like do a ramble video about something I was super passionate about, which is AI in musical theater, which I completely despise and I think it's disgusting. But that video shot up and became like my second most viewed video of all time, like immediately. And I said, okay, well, I'm just going to do this then. And I just did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, fair play.
I mean, Pillar just did a video about, I'll go run back to this real quick, but I actually am interesting because I had almost the exact opposite process to you, Connor, because I started out a lot more unscripted and I would just do like bullet points and whatever, but then I got the opposite feeling of like I started being like, is this funny? Am I like, because like the reason that I started scripting things out is because I would make a joke and then I wouldn't think you could visibly like see me in the footage be like, that's not funny, when it was. But like I was so unconfident what I just said. I was just like, yeah, when you do it, haha. And then I'd be like, oh, that was, and then I decided.
That's such a funny visual.
For me, it's if I script a joke out and then I have to say it, I then think, okay, did I overthink this joke when I was writing it? I would rather just like, I guess because I have an acting and an improv background, it's easier for me to just joke like off the cuff. But I mean, sometimes I do actually pre-plan my jokes. Like the night before I film, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to say that at this point.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I just completely forget to do it.
Yeah,
which is frustrating at times.
I'm like terrified of that happening too. Like of me having like a perfect opportunity for a joke or for an observation or something and then just missing it. So that's part of why I script things out. And that's also why I have been taking a bit of a break from YouTube as well, because I do like my process of scripting things out, but it also means it takes a lot longer for videos to get made. And recently, I don't know if you listened to the last episode, but recently I've kind of had like a bit of a wacky kind of relationship with how YouTube's working in my process. So I've been taking a step back and just focusing on more fiction writing. And I actually did start the other day. I guess this semi-announcement, I talked about it a little bit on my own server a little bit, but I did start writing another video essay that I don't know how long it'll be before that comes out, but I'm really excited about it.
Hell yeah. That's sick. Good. I mean, I also have a few video essays that I'm working on, like specifically video essays that I'm writing out and I'm scripting, because I do want to. My big thing is I want people to watch what I make because they want to watch me and not just because they're interested in what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to develop my channel in a way where people will come back to watch me and not just they're interested in the topic, they watch one video and they leave.
Right.
So I'm trying to diversify and talk about as much as possible now, so that way when I get to like a bigger subscriber count, which has been working in my favor recently, people will just come back and watch whatever the fuck I have to say about anything. And it's been working so far. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, awesome.
But like I completely understand the frustration, especially with YouTube. I mean, YouTube has just gone to shit recently. Like it really is it's not the same platform that I even started posting videos on 4 years ago. Let alone the same platform that the YouTubers that I love grew to prominence on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, I was watching some of your recent.
You go. I've been talking.
I'm just gonna say, like, I'm on Wi-Fi instead of plugged into the Ethernet today, so the transatlantic ping delay is probably going to be even worse. But no, I was just gonna say I was watching some of Connor's videos earlier, some of the more recent ones I hadn't caught, and I did consciously think like this feels like old YouTube, like in a really good way. You know, like before commentary was as sort of played out and sloppy as it is now. It gave me vibes of, you know, watching someone back in like 2015, 2016 maybe era. I don't know. It was really, really cozy, really vibes, you know.
That's the YouTube that I love. That's the YouTube that I know and love. So I really wanted to try to replicate that, and I don't want to put out something that's like factually incorrect. Like I don't ever want to become what a lot is being referred to now as like slop YouTube channels. I've been seeing a lot recently that been being thrown around, and I have a very big fear that people are going to see that I don't script out what I'm saying and just call me a slop YouTube channel, which I get it. I don't write essays. I don't put necessarily a lot of thought into what I'm saying before I say it, so I do understand that, but that is a big fear.
Let me just assure you right now, you get called slop even if you spend weeks scripting it out. I think people just like to call things slop these days.
Yeah, I think that that sloppiness or whatever comes from like a kind of cynical content creation mindset rather than like what anything you actually do in the video. Like if you're making something for the sake of putting something out, that becomes more sloppy than like if you're making something because you want to just talk about something.
No, exactly, yeah. Like there have been so many opportunities that I've had because I'm doing weekly videos now where I am just sitting there racking my brain trying to think of something to talk about that week, let alone 2 things to talk about, because sometimes I do 2 videos a week. So like it gets really frustrating seeing people get like hundreds of thousands of views talking about things they have no idea about. Like literally like they do not know what they're talking about, but they're getting paid like a shit ton of money to talk about it. And that just irks me so much.
Common punching bag of mine, Sunny V2. Got it.
No, literally, I hate him. I hate him so much, man.
I think he's kind of almost. There's a way in which he's kind of the Reagan of YouTube, in that the platform's kind of fucked up these days, and a lot of it you can kind of place back to him, you know, to some degree.
Yeah, if he's the Reagan, then Mr. Beast is the Bush of YouTube.
Yes, yeah, that's actually a really good analysis, even though timeline-wise,
yeah, because he's also way fucking stupider.
Yeah, he's a lot dumber.
We are coming
also
for you, Mr.
goes
Beast.
into other countries and does war crimes in them.
Oh, Connor, did you see those like short era of this, like where we were like talking about Mr. Beast on this podcast, and we kind of had like a thing of like this was before this happened. Literally,
it was like a week before the stuff started coming
literally
out.
A week before everything about like Mr. Beast and his friend came out. We were like, yeah, Mr. Beast kind of seems like, you know, he seems like he's causing issues to the platform and his content style, but like as a guy he seems fine. And then like a week later it comes out that his best friend's like a groomer, and all of his other friends are groomers, and that he's like mistreating his employees and locking people in cages and shit like that. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, never mind.
So it's funny you say that, because I'm somebody that's always been like super skeptical of Mr. Beast, but not for like reasons that other people are, just because I've always felt like his vibes are off, and that's the only reason.
Pillar was saying that he looks dead behind the eyes.
No, exactly. It's like I sit here and I feel like I put more energy into the videos that like at like my 10,000 subscribers see than he does for his millions. Like, yeah, he's like loud and he has energy, but there is nothing going on in that face.
Yeah, it's kind of like scope creep. Like, I feel like on one, I don't want to do the armchair psychology of Mr. Beast, because that is something millions of people are doing nonstop.
And I am not qualified to have that conversation.
Yeah, but it does seem to me, from, you know, the perspective of maybe watching 2 minutes of his content ever, that at some point he sort of made the mistake of thinking, well, you know, objectively, I am putting a lot into this as I ramp up the costs and the staff and the spectacle. And I feel like a sort of a certain amount of maybe coasting of the soul takes place, because you think, okay, look at all this stuff that I am objectively putting into the process. Therefore, I can just kind of slide through, you know, not really connect with it emotionally anymore. Just kind of let this big machine that I've I've kind of built weight around.
I used to watch.
No, absolutely. And I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that I used to watch Mr. Beast back in like 2018, 2019. And he was still Mr. Beast. Like, let's be clear. He was still like very much the same kind of content he was doing. But I remember thinking back on and this might be like just like past memories recontextualizing or whatever. But I remember like watching these old videos. Not like old videos, but like he was relatively wealthy, but he wasn't like the fucking juggernaut he is now. But I remember thinking that like he did seem to have a bit more like there was like a bit more soul to it a bit. Like he the feeling that I always got from his videos, whether or not this was the truth or not, it felt more like he was making like something he was just hanging out with his friends and like doing something fun kind of a thing. And then now I tried to watch like his which one was it? I can't even remember now. I think it was the one where he locked a bunch of YouTubers in like a box. I think I tried to watch that one.
He loves doing that kind of bizarre
That is
shit,
such a crazy sentence out of context. Yeah, this other YouTuber locked a bunch of YouTubers in a box. Like,
it is what happened.
Yeah, we just got to roll with that. Like, it's just expected that we're on board with that.
I tried to watch it, and it was so like, it felt like I was watching like a reality TV show, and not. I don't mean that as a compliment. I mean that as like it feels way too overproduced. It feels like there's way too much editing. There's way too much like weird sound effects. And it was not fun to watch. And I know that this isn't that this like is a problem with the videos themselves and not with the actual productions, because I also watched Jaden Animation's video where she talked about doing that video, and she talked about being on that set and talked about doing those challenges, and that video was so much more like interesting and well told and funny and stuff, because she has like a charming
because it wasn't just trying to maximize all the retention droplets.
Yeah, exactly. This might be a little bit of a confession. Sometimes I do watch Mr. Beast videos. Yeah. Like sometimes I do. Sue me, kill me. If they're on my page and they look mildly interesting and there's nothing else that I want to watch, I'll just put it on and I'll laugh at how stupid they are. But I've noticed that like it doesn't seem like he wants to be a YouTuber anymore. Like I think he just wants to just keep acquiring wealth at any means possible, and YouTube is just the easiest way for him to do that because he doesn't really have to rely on like actors unions or anything. You know what I mean? So like when he has people in his YouTube video, he doesn't have to, since there's no YouTube union, he doesn't have to pay like healthcare, or he doesn't have to provide like really anything. And apparently, according to the lawsuits, he didn't give anything to anybody. So,
and that became a problem when he was on a TV set, and there were unions that were upset with what he was doing.
Yeah.
No, exactly, which should really show you how dire the state of everything on the internet is currently, where especially with AI and everything, things in the real world, I hate to say that, but things in the real world are regulated for the most part. Things on the internet, they're fucking not. Like, they are, but they just aren't anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can tell it's dire when you're comparing the internet against, the real world. Yes, there are regulations, but 40 years of neoliberalism have stripped those to their absolute bare fucking bones. So
yes, absolutely. And
them looking good in the comparison, that isn't to praise reality. That is just to like point to the fucking, the what are they called? The little bushels that roll around the Wild West kind of towns. Tumbleweeds.
Tumbleweeds.
Just to point to the tumbleweeds of this bare, barren internet that is just being absolutely strip mined for worth by all these corpo brain nonsense weirdos. I also think there's something really interesting in this discussion of kind of the aura of the Mr. Beast video of 2024. Like, it does sort of feel like you could turn one of these videos on and he could not be in any of the shots. Like, he could have just disappeared from the video and no one would notice. Not the people filming it, not the people watching it. They'd just keep fucking clicking, and the editors would put in those stupid ad rolls that slow down after the halfway mark.
Oh my God, I hate those.
You know, there'd be a Lunchly plug, and it would all just keep rolling along, and no one would even notice, you know?
That's the thing, though, right? Because that harkens back to what I was just saying about how I want people to watch my videos for me, not what's happening in the video. And people do not watch Mr. Beast for Mr. Beast. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
maybe
not anymore.
kids do.
Like who is
maybe,
Jimmy
maybe
Beast?
children do or whatever. But nobody cares about Jimmy Beast, and the only way they will care about him is if he does something like super controversial or something that people can criticize him for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Have you seen those? Have you seen those videos of him like giving like his his fucking chocolate to like people, and like they taste it and they're like, "This isn't very good," and he's like, "No, it's the best chocolate you've ever had, right?" And he's like looking at the camera and like looking at them like, like he's just.
It's funny you mentioned that because I have a video planned either probably for the beginning of next year, because I don't want to dox myself, but I live near the American Dream Mall in New Jersey, which is like one of the most famous malls in America. And they have both an in-person Mr. Beast burger, and they also have a massive Ferris wheel. So
You should eat the Mr. Beast burger on the Ferris wheel.
That's exactly what I was gonna do. I was gonna get all of his chocolate and like rank them while I'm in the Ferris wheel.
That has the potential to be the best video on the entire platform.
They sell Feastables at my local Safeway, which is there's like a little cardboard case that has fucking Jimmy Beast's face on it with his dead smile, and it's just like
I kind of hope children. I kind of hope children keep...
Children, what a Freudian slip.
That was crazy.
I love killing children.
No, I swear.
Connor
I
McDowell.
hope children steal enough of Mr. Beast Feastables so they have to put them behind glass. Like, I just think that would be
Beast
really...
video-
Like, all the other chocolate is out in the open except for Feastables. That's the reality I want to live in.
Apparently, the chocolate isn't very good. By the way,
I've never had it.
But just
I think the Mr. Beast video that would be really fun to watch would be like, you know, kind of him soy facing on the thumbnail, and it's like I paid 1,000 children to rip the flesh from my bones and devour me in front of a live, you know, camera feed. I would click on that. That would be the one that I do click on.
a ritual
I would
sacrifice.
absolutely watch that. Honestly, that would be a really funny like Meat Canyon video. I'm not a fan of him just because the animation creeps me out, but that would be a good video for him to do.
Is he the guy that did that one of XQC with his big kind of vault of
Yeah, that was him.
wealth?
He like
Okay, yeah. I think that's.
I don't watch his stuff because the animation scares me, but he's an extremely talented person.
Yeah,
so
I used to watch him more regularly. The one I remember the most, like I think, was one that he made of Dream, but it was like Dream was like this like caterpillar thing, and he like
I watched
he did butterfly.
I remember he did a Sneeko one, and I watched that because I thought that was pretty funny.
But the oh my god, I completely forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, the Lunchly thing. The whole Lunchly saga has been a sight to behold. But I think that my favorite part about it doesn't have anything to do with Mr. Beast. It's the one-sided beef between KSI and Dan TDM.
Yes. So
How is it possible to lose a beef that hard?
I don't know. But I made a video about the Lunchly situation, and I had no clue who Dan TDM was. Is that what it is? TDM?
Yeah.
DTM?
He was
I don't know. I still don't know.
He was like the Minecraft YouTuber that I watched as a kid. And I was lucky in that because I ended up not watching anyone like who turned out to be a pedophile later.
Oh, thank God.
Because I watched him and I watched Stampy, and those two guys are still pretty good as far as I know.
Well, give them time.
Yeah.
That does remind me. Apparently, there was like a Minecraft YouTuber that just got arrested for grabbing a service weapon, but it wasn't for something that like.
Well,
Minecraft
maybe
YouTubers are known for getting arrested for it. I thought it was really funny. Like Minecraft YouTuber gets arrested. Oh no, what for? Grabbing a cop's gun.
Yeah, it's only a normal crime.
Right, yeah.
Well, normal is a strong word.
But the Dante DMs is funny because he was never someone who got involved in any kind of drama, like at all. Like, and I've heard him talk a little bit about the KSI tweet thing, and basically he was just like, I was just done with like their bullshit. Basically, he doesn't say that because he's a nice boy, but he was just like, I normally think through what I'm gonna say on Twitter, but like that day I was just so annoyed, so I just said that, and then like ever since then he's just completely not acknowledged it.
It's because, and I'm not saying this with like any knowledge of these people. I've never met any of them. They aren't people anymore.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like
I know what you mean.
There's no humanity attached to them. Like their only goal is to keep growing and to keep making content and to keep like branching out and doing all of these crazy things.
Yeah, it's cancer brain.
Like the fucking Paul brothers in boxing. You know what I mean?
God.
Like, you're never gonna catch me doing a boxing match. I'm sorry, even if Creator Clash ever reached out to me, I'd be like, no, I'm good.
I just don't want to.
I will donate, but I am not getting punched. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I've said for a while that I think in as far as anything in this world, in our plane of existence, is demonic, the effect that these kind of algorithms have had on our culture and certain figures, that is... You know, it just seems so demonic. You know, like this. Oh yeah, we made this box of data that produces good results. Don't ask us how. We don't know. We just made a thing that produces results that's in a way that's so much smarter than us and just kind of corrupts people's brains.
Yeah,
like that's some Old Testament shit.
That's some, that's some real phone bad art is shit. You know, like maybe the phone.
It's true,
maybe the
also,
phone bad people had a point.
I think they might have done, because we've got this new generation of people who have like grown up, you know, with some of their formative years being put through these fucking black box systems and the culture they've produced, and who've managed to wring enormous wealth out of them, and they're just fucking shells of humans. You know, they just have black hole eyes.
You see, you know, like the guy. Anyone who sits in front of a camera and records YouTube shorts for a living is too far gone.
Oh my god. There's this one guy that keeps making YouTube shorts that I really want to talk about. I can't remember what his name is, but like, I just like, I can't get my thoughts collected enough to make a video about him, but he's so annoying because he does like film drama and stuff, or like celebrity drama, but like every title is like Emma Stone drops it. And it's like, what are you doing? What does that mean?
Drops a beat.
And it's just him.
Emma Stone drops a hard beat and just starts dancing. Just drop.
Yeah, or like, but it's just him talking and giving internet drama to the camera, like talking really, really fast, but he has no idea what he's talking about. Like any video that mentions Rachel Zegler, he just has to shit on her. He just has to. Like it's almost like this instinctual reaction for people to comment more, both good and bad.
Well, to be fair, she did say that mildly divisive thing in that interview one time, so I think
you're right. So she deserves everything that's coming to her.
Here's the thing, though. So here's the thing about Rachel Zegler and Snow White. I love Rachel Zegler. She's one of my favorite actresses working in Hollywood right now.
But the movie looks like dog shit.
But the movie looks
it's so horrifying.
I had not seen the trailer, but when I went and saw Wicked, put a pin in that. When I went and saw Wicked,
yes, we're coming back to that.
I saw the trailer for Snow White, and I did not know what the dwarves were gonna look like. So my first impression of the Snow White and the Snow White dwarves in the new live action movie was them like Doc's face like on a giant silver screen. And I was just like staring at it like I was watching like unholy terror descend upon Manhattan kind of a thing. It was so bad.
The thing that pisses me off about that
Manhattan.
trailer so much, Dwarves Take Manhattan. The thing that pisses me off so much about that trailer isn't necessarily the CGI dwarves. Like, yeah, horrifying, absolutely disgusting. But I don't know if you noticed this while watching the trailer, but I don't think it was Pasek and Paul, but they had another Pasek and Paul ass musical number that they had Rachel singing that did not fit Like it just doesn't fit within the movie at all.
That sucks. I think
Or,
Pasek
like-
and Paul have like,
like,
a
it's-
very mixed discography for me. But like,
Oh, me too. But anything they've done post Dear Evan Hansen has just been garbage, in my opinion. Like I don't mess with any of that stuff. Like I don't like The Greatest Showman.
I think that they peaked when they collaborated with what was the guy's name? I can't remember his name, but the guy who they made the La La Land soundtrack with. I think that was their peak.
Oh yeah. I forgot about La La Land. Damien Chazelle, right? Or the whoever did the music for that. I can't remember who. But you're right. No, that is La La Land is spectacular. I love La La Land. I forgot they did that.
I forgot too. But
That's peak. That is absolute peak.
speaking of musical theater and musical theater nerds, Connor, you're a big musical theater nerd. I'm a big musical
I
theater
am.
nerd.
I'm such a big musical theater nerd that I studied it in college.
Exactly. And Pillar, I'm under the impression you're not really much of a musical theater person.
Not hugely, no, but I do have a girlfriend, and the reason Wicked is one of the reasons Wicked is doing so well is because it's got the girlfriend factor. It's one of those movies that comes out and women are like, "Hey, we should go and see this," and you're like, "Yeah, all right."
Yeah.
Not to like horribly generalize an entire gender or anything like that.
No, but yeah, I completely
know what I mean?
understand what you're saying. It's funny because
Yeah,
in
I
this
mean-
circumstance, I'm the girlfriend.
It's true.
Nice.
I
Break down those gender norms.
Knowing you and Morgan, that I definitely seem like between the two of you, you're the one to drag her to Wicked.
Well, the thing is, Morgan also majored in musical theater. Like that's where we met. We met in college doing musical
That
theater
is a couple
together.
goals, actually.
And she likes the stage musical more than I do. Because I'm not a big fan of Wicked. I have a lot of problems with it, especially
before we
in
jump
Act
into
2.
it, I have to say, Pillar constructed a stinger to lead us into. We're officially talking
yeah,
about Wicked now. We made a stinger.
Well,
for
I was
it.
going to say, famously, we, this is one of our segments we do again and again, Wicked discussion. So as always, there's the stinger that's going to lead us into it. TSD and I discussing Wicked, and another guy discussing Wicked.
All right, we're officially in Wicked discussion. Connor, continue what you were saying.
So, my girlfriend, I believe she likes the stage play more than I do. I have a lot of problems with it, especially when it comes to Act 2, which is what the entirety of the second movie is going to be. So I'm really, really, really nervous about that one. So neither of us were terribly excited to see this movie in theaters.
That's the thing,
But,
right?
I mean, I made a whole video about how, like, I was worried. Like, I made a whole video talking about what I was worried about in this film. I got bombarded with a lot of hate on that video. But I still think that what I said still applies, and more so for whatever the sequel is going to be. Because if you know anything about Wicked, it
gets wild.
The Act 2 goes completely off the rails. So
And here's the thing, though. Pillar, you don't really know much about Wicked, do you? I mean, you've seen the first movie.
Yeah, so we went to see the movie the other day, and you messaged me, like, I don't know, day before yesterday or something, and you asked me what I know about, I've seen part one. What do I know about the future of the Wicked story? And
Also, spoilers
what I
for
said to you then
Wicked
was-
in this segment for anyone who hasn't seen the first movie.
Yes.
spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the first movie and the stage musical that is over 20 years old.
Right, yeah.
Or read the book that's even older.
But
Or seen The Wizard of Oz.
no,
Or read The Wizard of Oz.
but you were saying what you knew about the part 2 was
Yeah, so the only thing that I know about that's coming up is I know Dorothy melts her with water. That's it. That's all I have to go on.
spoilers! What the hell?
it's not like the movie opens.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
The movie opens with it or anything. But yeah, so here's the thing about Wicked. I have a really interesting relationship with Wicked the stage musical because it is the first stage musical that I remember liking It was the first one I remember because I've been into musical theater my whole life as I can remember. But Wicked's the first one I can really remember, like listening to the music and like being like, wow, this is so cool, and then wanting to go see it on stage. And I have seen it on stage a couple times. I actually got to see it in at the Paramount just a couple weeks ago because they were doing their tour. And I still love the stage musical. It's not my favorite musical. Hadestown is my favorite musical, but Wicked always holds a special place in my heart. And so I was really, really, really nervous about this movie because, to be quite frank, the marketing material was less than stellar.
It was absolutely atrocious, which was like a big portion of what the video that I made was about the marketing and how I was worried that the marketing was going to reflect the quality of the final product.
Yeah, and what
was wrong with the marketing? Because I don't know, I've got no frame of reference. It just seemed like,
so
people running around singing, one of them was green.
So the thing about the marketing is that well, first of all, the movie like visually, like color grading wise, it doesn't look amazing. I don't think it looks as bad as like some people have been saying it looks like. Some people have been saying it looks like vomit or whatever. I don't think that's true. I think
I may be one of those people. I do not like the color grading or lighting in this film at all.
Yeah.
It's the Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean? If you're gonna do the Wizard of Oz, it should be as colorful as possible, not whatever this bullshit answer that John M. Chu gave us about him wanting it to be realistic and immersive. Like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, everyone knows colors don't exist.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what? I'm sitting at my desk right now and I'm looking at more vibrant colors than I saw in the Wicked movie.
And that's the thing, though. So, like, I think that's a very valid criticism of it. But it's also the thing that's one of the most obvious things in the trailer, because obviously you can't just show the movie in the trailer, but you can show the visual style, and the visual style doesn't look great.
Can I venture a point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how accurate this is, because I feel like I have seen the Wizard of Oz movie, and I feel like I've read at least one of the books, but this is like 20 years ago, so I've got very little sort of knowledge. Isn't kind of the idea that it's sort of dubiously real, like maybe it's some sort of, dream thing
in
ambiguously?
The movie? Yeah, it is. Because in the book, it's very explicit.
Is that not from the book?
In the book, it's very explicit.
I think in the original Wizard of Oz, is it not in the original Wizard of Oz? It's not like a dream.
No, in the book, like it's very explicitly real because the ending is like Dorothy goes back to Kansas and like her house is gone and her aunt and uncle are like, where have you been the last few hours?
Okay.
Okay, because I haven't read The Wizard of Oz since I was like 6 years old.
But in the movie, it's very much implied to be like a dream of some kind.
Yeah, because I was going to say one of the things that kind of rankled me, well, not rankled, that's maybe a bit strong, but one of the things that I didn't necessarily get on board with right away was, so Wicked tries to fold in some kind of, socio-political commentary, give some stuff, some kind of heavy backstories, which I'm guessing is probably there in the books as well. The kind of fascism takeover kind of stuff.
It is in the Wicked book.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what I was getting to. It's like...
Also, Wicked
like
isn't...
from my memory of The Wizard of Oz.
Wicked isn't an official...
It's not by the guy, right?
It's not an official Oz
like
book. It's a fan fiction.
Yeah, it's a completely separate author.
Yeah. And separate, like, publishing
so it sort of
house
felt a little bit to me... It felt a little bit to me like... I don't know, getting something like... trying to think of like a children's thing. What's a children's... Like SpongeBob SquarePants, and then doing like a musical about like plankton's origins.
You're going to love this.
Like,
you're going to have...
in like a factory farm or something.
There may be a SpongeBob musical. It doesn't.
And there is.
It doesn't talk about
like
that.
The gritty SpongeBob origin movie.
It may be connected to this movie in a way that I was going to get to about the marketing.
Okay, lay it on me. I don't know about this.
So I'll paint a picture for you. Okay, so we're back to like the marketing discussion. Whatever, the movie doesn't look great.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't think it looks bad, but like it's definitely my least favorite part of the movie. And then also in the marketing material, there's a lot of like, emphasis on it being a part 1 of part 2, which, is a dubious decision for some, which I'll get to why I feel like I changed my mind about that after seeing the movie. But the other big part was that there was a lot of drama on set. And the reason that there was a lot of drama is because Ethan Slater, the actor who plays Bach, who Pillar, if you don't know who that is, that's the Munchkin boy who has a crush.
Yeah, he's the
He also who we're also going to know is also known as SpongeBob because he plays SpongeBob or played.
Oh, he's that fucking guy.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Yep.
He played SpongeBob.
Yes.
SpongeBob from the original Broadway cast of SpongeBob.
And he may or may not, allegedly, we don't know for sure, but like
In Roblox.
it's probable. In Roblox, he may or may not have cheated on his wife who had an infant son at the time with Ariana Grande because they met on the set of this movie.
Oh dear.
We don't know if any cheating was involved. All we know is that he left his partner very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing. It's like you guys have never even like heard of Jared Leto, because what this is actually a technique he invented. This is called method acting.
It's true.
Right? So to really inhabit the character of Bach, who has this thing for fucking Glenda or whatever she's called, he had to live that out in real life, right? And you know, not everyone gets that. Not everyone is familiar with the greats of the genre like Jared Leto. But
look,
hey, I'm just
topic for a different day. I hate Jared Leto and I hate method acting. So
fair.
Topic for a different day, though.
So true.
No, the only way I know about this SpongeBob musical, and now you say it, I recognize this guy because I've seen like a video or something, is I know one fact about the SpongeBob musical, which is for one of the songs in the musical, they reuse a David Bowie song from like one of his more obscure albums in the 90s, which like the original version of this song is like this kind of bleak point of view thing from like a kind of murderous character. It's like this really 90s, really sort of grim, techno dark kind of fantasy world about like art as murder and sort of ritual desecration of bodies as sort of,
you know, very SpongeBob
dystopian future performance art. Yeah, and they changed some of the words, but it's, for anyone who's heard that album, I guess going into the SpongeBob musical, that must have been a fucking curveball and a half, you know?
So I think what happened, I could be completely wrong about this, but I think what I remember hearing, because that musical, David Bowie died in what, 2015, 2016?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that?
Yeah, 2016.
That musical was released it had its first showings in Chicago, I think around 2016, 2017. So what I think happened is he was supposed to write a song, and he was contracted
because David Bowie has
like,
been in SpongeBob before.
Music.
He's like he has a connection.
Yeah. So I think maybe he was supposed to write a song and then he passed and they were just like, well, let's just use this one. Or he was just like, I don't feel like writing a song, use this one. I think there was some sort of decision like with the estate or him where they were like, okay, yeah, go ahead. Use
I think that would have ruled because, like, in the Bowie discography, the music he was making at that point in 2016 is like pretty experimental, kind of bleak, confronting death head-on, kind of jazz metal. So, you know, if he had lived and if he had written this hypothetical song and you were doing like a discography listen through, you'd get through the Black Star album and you'd be like, oh, goddamn, life's brutal, man. You know, treasure your loved ones. And then you just, you know, SpongeBob and Plankton going round the pineapple, you know.
Yeah.
That's how it would go, I think.
But back to Wicked. There's that whole thing. And then there was did you see the whole thing about Cynthia Erivo and the poster? Like someone made like a fan edit of one of the Wicked posters to make it look more like the Broadway poster.
Supposedly, yeah, to make it look like the Broadway poster.
And then,
did it downplay her?
Cynthia Erivo reacted strongly.
A very poignant post on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've seen people say meltdown. I've seen people say it's a meltdown. I don't really agree with that, but I do.
Yeah, I don't think it's a meltdown either. I mean, if you look at what she was saying has there is validity to what she was saying.
Yeah.
Because she was talking about like AI things.
Disclaimer: we're like three white guys talking about this, so you know, take everything.
Yes, but we are the authoritative voices.
No, exactly. The problem is that she took things like people making weird AI edits of the two of them and like people like sexually harassing people and then combined that with and used fan art to make her big point of stop trying to erase me from this film, which is a valid thing to say. But she just completely took somebody's fan art and put it on blast on Instagram and just made fun of it and was basically like, look how dog shit this art is that somebody made. And it's so bad that I'm offended by it. Like, is basically what it felt like.
Yeah, it was a weird event. It was a strange thing. And then there was just,
especially it was like a week or two before it came out, maybe like a month before.
It was like a month.
The movie came out. Yeah, it would just like the weirdest timing too.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you know, sometimes art thrives in adverse conditions. You know, think back to Fleetwood Mac. You know, they made rumors while like wanting to pull each other's hair out, and also, well, I guess in both senses. You know. But yeah, so the thing that came out of,
there was the fucking holding space thing.
Oh god, the holding space.
What's
thing.
holding space?
So what? Real quick, the last thing. So Cynthia Erivo, after she made the post, like a week or two later, she was like, "Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have made that post. Maybe I should have just like ranted to my friends."
Yeah, it was a bit late for that.
Like literally, like what? Sorry, I didn't think before I spoke. Like what?
Yeah.
There ain't no way a publicist let that go.
No.
Like that was definitely her own thing that she wanted to do.
Yeah, Cynthia sheepishly signing out of her personal, you know, Instagram account or whatever under the withering glare of the studio social media head. But yeah, the thing that came out of all this, the movie, what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, first I want to talk
Boom
about
or
I want to talk about the holding space thing real quick before we do that. Just I want to mention.
Oh,
that.
God, yeah.
It's
oh,
not,
sorry, I thought that was the holding space thing.
No,
I didn't see the connection.
No.
The holding space
I
thing.
just assumed it was.
There was just like this interview clip that went viral where like this interviewer is like, people have been taking the lyrics of Defying Gravity and really holding space as that, and like Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are like, that's so beautiful, it's so powerful, and a lot of people are like, what the fuck does this mean?
Because the thing that's really funny is like holding space pretty much just means like taking the lyrics and music of the song and like holding that near and dear, like close to your heart, and really identifying with those lyrics. But the thing that's really funny is that this song has existed for over 20 years.
Yeah.
And gay people have been holding space for this song for over 20 years. So for this interview to happen where this lady was like, yeah, they're holding space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity. It's like, no shit. They've been doing that for over 20 years.
That's why the movie got greenlit.
Yeah.
No, exactly. But then there's also Cynthia Erivo's reaction where she's like, "Oh, that's what I wanted." Like she wrote the fucking music. You know what I mean?
Generally,
It's like,
the whole marketing thing was just like, this looks like a weird big Hollywood movie with a bunch of odd people behind it, and like Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are getting like 1 million matching tattoos. And there's just some.
Oh my god! Yeah.
There was such this weird energy. People were like, "This movie's got to be like either awesome or a disaster, right?" And then the actual movie came out.
Yeah.
And
Well, like I said, boom or doom.
Personally, I know all of our opinions. I really loved this movie, but I think that's partially because I had a connection to the musical beforehand. Like more of a musical means a lot to me, so it means a lot to me to see it on screen. But overall, I think between the three of us, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think any of us think it's like a bad movie.
No, I don't think it's anywhere near a bad. I've seen so many worse movies this year.
Oh yeah.
One of which there's a video coming out about today. So it was the things. Here's what I'll say. I can understand why this would be somebody's favorite movie of the year, but I can also understand why somebody would absolutely despise this film. Like, I get it. Like, I really, truly do understand. Because, like, if somebody sees this, they could watch it and be like, well, that's just dumb fan fiction of The Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially if you have no preconceived notions of what Wicked is. But if you are, like, a massive Wicked fan, this is something you've been waiting for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's undeniably insanely faithful to the musical, even though it's just act one and it's also the length of the actual stage
Like
musical.
that part is
It's
so wild to me. Like I don't know how they did that.
No, it's baffling.
Like
it doesn't make any sense to me.
like, and that's not like a criticism. I think that me personally, I know that like our mileage may vary. I personally thought that the movie was like really, really well paced considering.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
there were
fair
some
play to the
places
pacing.
where I had pacing issues, but for the most part, I did not.
Yeah, considering
feel like
they stretched it out in the way that it. Yeah, considering because I didn't realize that. I assumed maybe it was just a really long musical or something. But if they have kind of just taken the first half and just kind of yanked it out, then I think it is pretty impressive that they've managed to smooth it over in the way that they did.
Yeah, no, that was one thing I was impressed with. Absolutely.
Like thinking on it, I think that the reason that happened, I was talking about this a little bit with my mom, who's also a huge Wicked fan, and she absolutely loved the movie, like even more than I did. We were talking about it, and we think that the reason that it worked so well is because on the stage show is good, but it does have a bit of a pacing issue when you think about it.
No, that is my biggest problem with the Wicked show, is everything just happens so fast because they have to get so much information out in such a small period of time.
Yeah, and like I guess I didn't really notice it before because I was mostly listening to the music and only saw the show a couple times. But it's like Pillar. Imagine like the entire plot of this movie that you saw happening within an hour. Like that's what the show is like, and
yeah. It's kind of breakneck, yeah.
It is kind of breakneck. And then
that's the perfect word to describe it.
And like especially, and like I still love Act 2 of Wicked, but you especially feel it in Act 2 because so much shit happens in Act 2.
Yeah, and Act 2 is where it really becomes like fan fiction of the Wizard of Oz. Like it really starts to feel like they're just throwing shit. Like if you thought like, oh, this is how she got the broomstick, or this is how she got the hat.
Yeah,
if you did not like
Han
that part,
Solo
you're not gonna like the second movie.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the
I know
TSD has seen Solo.
Yeah, I won't.
Connor, have you seen the Solo, the Star Wars
Oh, I've
movie?
seen Solo. I actually, hot take, I kind of like Solo. I don't like.
No, I think we like Solo.
I haven't seen Solo.
Oh, you still haven't seen it? That's messed up.
No, I still haven't
So
seen it.
I like Solo because it's just like a fun adventure movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, the worst parts of that movie are like, those fucking dice that you don't remember. This is how we got those dice.
Yes. No, this is how he got the Millennium Falcon. This is how he got his name. I don't like that stuff. Everything else was a lot of fun.
Hey, I'm with you.
But like Pillar, not to give too much spoilery stuff, but you know that you said that you know that Dorothy melts her, but like a sizable portion of the Wicked's second act of Wicked, like not the very beginning because there's like a bit of setup, but
does it come after the Wizard of Oz?
Most of it is in parallel with the Wizard of Oz. It's like in between the scenes of the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, it happens exactly. It happens at the same time, pretty much.
And
because I was gonna say, like, it kind of feels like we're already there. Like, what else is there? You know, she flies off and she's got her flying monkeys and she's
there's like a 5-year time difference or something, 5 to 10 years in between.
Actually,
acts.
I think it's ambiguous, like what the time jump is.
But there is a time jump. It's like a.
There is a time jump, but it's never really said how long it is. They might do that for the film. But in the musical, it's just kind of like, okay, we're a few years later.
I think that this movie has the opportunity that because they've got so much time to work with now, I think that they might be able to like improve upon the pacing of Act 2 of the musical, and maybe like, obviously there are some things that aren't going to be like if you're not a big fan of insert thing redacted happening in Act 2, you're probably not going to be a big fan of it if they spend more time setting it up and have it make more sense.
No, exactly.
But,
so like, to give a little bit of context, you like find out like how the Tin Man came to be and how the Scarecrow came to be.
Yeah, just what everyone was wondering.
Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly what happens in Act 2. So
nice.
I have this is actually like something I thought about the recent season of Arcane. I think that that the stuff in Act 2 is stuff that like could work really, really well if it was given more time to breathe.
That's fair.
And,
that's fair.
I think that quick Arcane thing aside, I still think Arcane season 2 is really, really good. It just needed more time to breathe. But But the thing, talking about like this movie, this movie has given me a lot more hope for that movie being good, partially just because this movie's good. And you know which part, this is the part that I feel, I know that Connor agrees with me. I'm interested to see what you think about this pillar. I think that the biggest surprise for me in this movie, and like one of my biggest pleasant surprise, was just Ariana Grande's performance. She fucking kills it in this movie.
So
she was pretty good.
The thing is, I wasn't surprised at how much I enjoyed Ariana Grande, because I've never hated Ariana Grande. I've never been a hater.
Yeah.
I've always been very lukewarm on her.
No, exactly. But I grew up with like Victorious.
See, that's the thing.
So I know she's very funny. So I knew she probably, especially now that she's aged, I haven't seen her acting. The only acting I've seen from her is like from SNL since Victorious. But like, I had confidence in her, but she really surprised me. She did.
Yeah.
I knew her singing was going to be fine too, but
yeah.
And
all the clips I've seen of her in those Disney Channel shows or whatever, I didn't even think. I mean, I guess it's just because those shows were kind of not very funny from a, from the perspective of having seen funnier things than those shows. I guess I just sort of assumed that she was like a mediocre actor, but no, it's just those shows weren't great, you know?
Yeah.
And also she was a teenager.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, but I guess we can't hold that against her.
The one thing that about Ariana Grande that not about her specifically, but about Popular, the song Popular, is they made it just a little bit longer.
They did, yeah.
Like the part where she does all the key changes is completely new to the movie. And it's not that I have a problem with that being in the movie. It's that Steven Schwartz, the guy who wrote the musical, is now considering putting that into the Broadway show. And I don't know if I'm a massive fan of that. Yeah. I don't know if I like that.
I feel like that the musical needs
just
that
from
breathing room to not do that.
No, exactly.
Just from the perspective of someone coming in completely blind to this whole thing, I also thought it was kind of wild that, like, you've got this movie or musical or whatever about, the secret origins of these famous wizardy characters, and they're trying to save the land from the fascists trying to make the animals stop speaking, and then there's just this extended, slice of life kind of. It felt very fan fiction-y, the way we just, now the characters are in university and they're going to try and be popular and go to the dance. Oh no, there's drama.
It is very
not in a bad way, just like...
No, I mean, that's the biggest criticism
is not sanded down.
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest criticism with both the Wicked musical and the book, is that it's just like well-written fan fiction.
Here's the thing.
Which I don't personally have a problem with that.
Yeah.
It's just like sometimes it gets to be too much.
Like, I think that it's very fan fiction-y. That's not like a criticism against it, because I'm gonna be real with you. I really like fan fiction. I'm a big fan of it.
Oh no, there are fan fictions that I enjoy. And you ever hear of somebody named I forgot her name, but the girl from My Immortal.
I was just gonna say My Immortal, because that's the only.
Yeah, Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway.
My Immortal is the only fanfic I could name.
Ever.
I like
my favorite Wicked character.
But it's I think that Wicked is kind of just an example of like fan fiction that's just also good. And then like there's like a
I mean the thing is
fair.
We're at a stage now where fan fiction is kind of it's become its own genre, like it or lump it. It is its own genre with its own tropes and its own kind of forms. And I think, it's probably from a certain perspective, taking away the I like this, I don't like this angle. It's pretty cool that that's finally filtered through in so big a way into like the mass culture blockbuster moment in Wicked. I think that's cool that this very online, very of a certain time, very couldn't have really existed, at least in the way that it does now, 30, 40 years ago thing has sort of risen up and taken this spot in front of everyone's eyes.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, I made a whole video specifically about how this is like a massive success for the theater community in general.
We've been starving over here, dude.
How well received this is. No, exactly. Like sure, I may not have been the biggest fan of this movie, but for Wicked to come out of the gate, not even be the complete story, and to be the highest grossing Broadway adaptation ever in the movie theaters, other than of course like The Sound of Music that is released perpetually when it came out because there was no like way to watch it at home. For it to just like break all of these records is something that excites me so much for the future of movie musicals.
It's become like the event movie of the holiday season.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Like it's not fucking Red One or whatever. Like
I mean, to be fair, Moana 2 did make more money than Wicked did. But as far as live action films go, yeah.
But like who's
absolutely.
talking about Moana 2, really? Right? You know? Like people are talking about Wicked.
No, that's true.
Like people
are seeing it, but no one's talking about it because it sucks.
But I think that Wicked I think that the thing that really struck me about Wicked as well is that it, like, for all of its faults or whatever, it's made by I think I've kind of talked about this a bit, and like something that endears me so much to a movie or a TV show or whatever is when it's clear that everyone involved cares about what they're making. Exactly. Like you can tell, like, even if like not everything is perfect, like even if the directing like looks a little bit ugly, or if there's weird spots here and there, you can tell that everyone who was on that set gave a shit about Wicked and what they were making.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I was just gonna say that like the sets and the costume designs absolutely blew me away. That one spinning library set in Dancing Through Life made my jaw drop.
So cool. Piggybacking off of what you just said about, you know, caring about being there, I think that is like the most evident thing when you watch this film. You know what I mean? Everybody is giving, like, all of the actors, you can tell that they are there and they're having fun. And like even John M. Chu, whose direction I'm not entirely thrilled with, it's very one note, very basic direction, which I guess there's nothing wrong with that for a big blockbuster film, but I expect more. But just from the sets alone, you can tell how much they cared, because they built those fucking sets.
Like they're real, they're tangible,
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the problems, that I have with this movie come down to studio and studio interference, and pretty much almost nothing to do with the creativity of the people that are involved, except for maybe some of the directing choices that were made in the film. But again, that could also be the studio.
And like last other thing is that like I'm not even knocking that, because there's a lot of practical stuff, but there is like a lot of CGI in this movie. But I think the CGI,
there's a lot of CGI.
I think the CGI works for like what they're going for, because like they're trying to make.
It never took me out of it.
Here's the thing: it never took me out of it, but I don't like it at the exact same time. I'm a big supporter of using like practical things whenever you can, and there is no reason that Dr. Delamond couldn't have been a puppet. He would have looked so much better.
Yeah, did you guys like my performance?
A Jim Henson puppet. Like, why are we using CGI that looks very cartoonish, which it does work because we're living in this fantasy world, but when you've built all of these sets, why are the flying monkeys CGI and not puppets or people in costumes? Like that to me would be taking it to the next level, where I think I could have liked this movie a little bit more.
Common misconception. It actually wasn't CGI. That was actually me, because you know.
Oh shit! Okay, I'm so sorry. You did a great job.
You know.
Yeah. Well, no, it was Danny. It was Daniel Goldhorn. Don't take this away from him. Yeah. It was our friend Daniel Goldhorn, who is a goat.
I'm just trying to steal his thunder.
But I think that on the note of Dr. Delamond, I was pleasantly surprised with how much I think that, like, you know, CGI aside, I think that they improved his role in the musical a lot in this movie. And
absolutely.
And I think that because a big part of Wicked, what makes Wicked work for me is the social like commentary element of it, and I feel like in the musical it's a little bit in the background. Like Something Bad, the song where Dr. Delamond sings about how animals are being fucking disappeared by the government, is considered by a lot of people to be like the bathroom break song, which is ridiculous because Sentimental Man is right there.
I was gonna say, like, I was gonna piggyback off what you said a minute ago in a different direction. One of my takeaways from Wicked, and I'll let you get back to that train of thought, obviously. But one of the things I took away was like I felt like the level of song quality fluctuated quite wildly, and it baffled me that so much time was given to Dancing Through Life. Like that seemed to carry on for ages, and that seemed to me so much weaker than a lot of the other ones. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
So the thing about Dancing Through Life is, I think the reason why it feels so long is because all of everything that happens at the ballroom is also part of Dancing Through Life.
Yeah.
Whereas in the musical, I'm pretty sure it's just a reprise.
Yeah, it's like Dancing Through Life is kind of a weird spot because it's like one song that encapsulates like a lot of really important plot points. So they kind of had to stretch it out if they were going to give it the same treatment.
I just feel like
the rest of it.
I would have liked those plot points to be on the bones of a better song. You know, I feel like maybe I'm just being pedantic.
That's you're stretching your credibility a bit.
People can nail me up to the cross for saying that if they want, but I feel like the other. It's have we not heard this metaphor 1,000 times before? I don't know if the song does anything new with it. You know,
you're absolutely right. No, you're right about that.
Melodically,
but the song is a fucking banger.
It's like,
I'm not honestly, you know, people can kill me for this. People can come over to my house and club me to death with a rock. That's fine. I thought it was the stinker of the bunch. You know,
that's unfortunate.
No, that's fair.
Again, Sentimental Man is right there.
Nah, for me, I'm Not That Girl. I'm not a fan of that song.
I like that because it's a little bit of a more introspective kind of break from the bombast of the rest of it. Hey, you know, I'm just coming out here. I'm being a little bit iconoclastic with it. That's my feeling.
No, that's fair.
I'm sorry. Like I love both Dancing Through Life and I'm Not That Girl, so I have to disagree with you both. But I think we have to agree. I'm sorry, I keep saying it. Sentimental Man. Which
one was Sentimental Man? I mean, the fact that I can't remember it.
It's the one that the wizard sings.
The one that Jeff Goldblum very eerily screeches through.
And like he sings a song?
That's the thing. It's like that in the stage show too.
I've completely forgotten. I've completely blanked this.
So the part where they're looking at the
model,
what the yellow brick road would be, which is another scene I fucking hated. And he's
singing about like
where
trying
they
to
were
be
like
their father or
what
something.
about yellow? I fucking hated that scene. Yeah, that song.
Can I guess a plot twist?
Sure.
Hey guys, me here. We ended up getting into some spoilers accidentally for what's going to happen in the follow-up. So for anyone who doesn't know about that, we are redacting this part of the podcast. This is top secret stuff. You cannot hear it, but I just know that I was right. My prediction was right. So back to the episode.
Anyway, but I think that we've been arguing a lot about it. I've loved it. I've loved this discussion. But I think that ultimately the big takeaway here is that I'm right, you're all wrong, and we should move to comment corner section.
That's fair. Wait, can I give one final opinion on this film before we move?
I would also like to as well.
Okay, I was just gonna say I feel like I liked a lot of the film, but I did feel like they needed maybe one last script pass because it felt like a weird amount of spelling mistakes and basic kind of pronunciation flops made it through to the final cut in a way that, shouldn't that have been a little bit obvious?
Yeah, like
I don't know. Maybe I'm just really maybe I'm just gifted at watching movies. Yeah,
like
exactly.
Disgustedified. That's not how that's pronounced.
My favorite thing that I caught while I was watching the movie is that during Sentimental Man, during his dance break, they purposefully put Jeff Goldblum behind a curtain.
I did notice that.
He didn't have to dance.
I noticed.
Like they were just like, let's throw the stunt double up there and let him do the dancing.
You don't cast Jeff Goldblum to do a little spin. You cast him to be fucking strange and weird.
No, but I wasn't a big fan of Jeff Goldblum's performance in this movie. I think it could have gone to literally any other actor, and I probably
it feels like he wasn't doing The Wizard of Oz. He was doing Jeff Goldblum.
No, he was doing Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Which I mean that worked for me, but I don't have that connection.
It works. It worked sometimes. I don't think it worked for me.
I think that the main reason that it did work for me is because he did. It was because he did the exact same performance when he was like evil, and I think that that's like the funniest part is that whenever it's in the same thing, it's the same way in the stage shows where the wizard doesn't like have this like obvious evil evil turn in his manner or whatever. He just acts exactly the same as he did when he's revealed to be evil. He's just like
no, that's fair.
So I think that having the Jeff Goldblum-isms kind of helps sell that a little bit. But all in all,
okay, you know what? That's
a good point. Well made.
That is a good point. I still didn't like it, but that's a good point.
But I think we can all say between the three of us, will we recommend this movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what I said to you was I had a good enough time watching it. I'm probably not going to be thinking about it in 3 months' time.
Yeah,
But watching it was
if you hate
fun.
musicals, if you hate, like, absolutely 100% despise musicals, don't see it.
Yeah, like, that's not
But
going
if
to
you're
convince
anybody
you.
else, yeah, you should probably see it.
All right, we've gone we're like an hour and 20 minutes. And we haven't even gone to our main section, so this might be a long one, folks. Sorry.
That's okay.
So I'm having a great time, but I'm just giving advance warning. I mean, people would probably know.
I'm already at the end of my podcast beer, so I'm going to crash in like 30 minutes.
Okay, let's go to comment corner then.
You're right fucking shit, you are.
Well, technically that isn't true. They can
I see the British are analysing our American characters.
I'm sorry, but I'm offended by that content warning. I don't think you should include him in the rest of it. Like, he is in political. I know they're not racist because I've been watching them for years.
Baby. Channel name checks out.
It's Comment Corner.
Usually our tradition that we've had for a long time, but also just started on our last guest episode, is that we have the guest read their comment first. So
That's actually so good because my comment that I have here ties directly into what we were just talking about.
perfect.
Let's go.
Okay, do you want me to just read it?
Yeah, you can just read it or send it in the chat, but as long as you read it out loud.
Okay, I'll read it out loud. I can't send it in the chat right now just because of my setup,
All right.
but I will read it out loud and then send it to you. So this is commented on the Wicked video that I made. It says, sigh. Okay, am I allowed to say how annoyed I am without my comment getting deleted? Because if I am, I'm a longtime Jeff Goldblum fan. I'm not worried about the movie, like at all. I stopped watching the second you started insulting him in this weird Goldblum way. What the fuck does that even mean? You obviously don't know or respect him as an actor the way I or the rest of his fan base do. He says the line like every other wizard I have ever heard say it. How dare you even try to insult a man who has more talent in his little finger than you do in your entire body? What gives you the right?
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Well, Connor, first of all, can I say congratulations on having your video seen by Jeff Goldblum's mother?
Thank you. Oh. This is my favorite comment that I've ever gotten.
That's so good.
Like,
No, but the thing is, this isn't even a real Jeff Goldblum fan, because if they were, they would instantly know what you meant by that fucking weird Jeff Goldblum thing. You know?
No, exactly. Jeff Goldblum fans.
Why else are you a fan
I like
of him?
Jeff Goldblum. No, exactly. Why else are you a fan of Jeff Goldblum if not for the fact that he's a fucking weirdo? You know?
That's his whole thing.
Because he
That's
is.
his charm.
The shame here is the rest of this comment was so good that we've all just blazed past, the iconic opening of apostrophe sigh apostrophe. I'm guessing this is apostrophe.
No, well, it's colon.
Oh, okay.
Sigh,
Yeah, because YouTube
colon,
takes out the
dot,
apostrophes.
dot.
Yeah.
That's such a great comment. I love that I love comments where like the actual point that they're making just gets lost in the fact that they're so weirdly written.
Such a massive dweeb, yeah.
Because
The thing that I said wasn't even an insult. I just said that in the trailer for the Wicked movie, it sounds like Jeff Goldblum is saying the way to bring people together is to give them a good anime and not enemy. That's the only thing I said. And I got this comment.
I want to say that as a representative of Jeff Goldblum fans everywhere, this person does not speak for me, because even though it is horrible that you hate Jeff Goldblum in this movie, it's a terrible travesty because you do hate him. You hate him in all of his works. You hate him in everything he's ever made. I know this about you, Connor.
I actually just recently watched The Fly, and he's in that. That's my favorite performance he's ever given. He was fantastic. I loved that movie. That was so good.
No, you hated that movie, Connor.
You're right. It was a piece of garbage. It sucked.
I love the line, "How dare you even try to insult a man who has more little talent in his little finger?" That's such a weird dig.
I know, right? Like the whole thing is just like, it's just a crazy comment, you know?
That is a really good comment. I like that a lot.
One last point I want to point out. is the opening where he's like, "Am I allowed to say how annoyed I am without my comment getting deleted?" Like this dystopia.
Yeah, that's a whole genre of YouTube commenter.
I think what happened is this person commented, and then the YouTube moderation deleted the comment, and then they commented this one.
It's always that.
But I think the YouTube moderation also deleted this one. I was just able to screenshot it before it got deleted. It might still
YouTube
be
running
up there,
interference
I don't know.
for this guy's sanity.
YouTube comment moderation is enigma.
It's a bit fucky.
And it's also annoying because it seems like YouTube commenters don't seem to know about it because they just assume it's always you.
Exactly.
Right. So many times people the first time I see a comment, the guy is already fucking livid at me because I've deleted his past 3 comments. And he hasn't
like,
made the
what?
connection that it's
I
because he
didn't
was
touch
swearing and writing slurs and shit. It's like,
It's funny because
Exactly.
that actually relates to the comment that I had.
Yes, the segues this episode are so fucking strong. Let's go.
So great. So I made all my Gravity Falls doesn't need a season 3 video. I got this comment that, so I'm gonna send you the comment. I'm gonna read it out first, and then I'm gonna explain the context around it.
Oh God!
It's from Mooney McCann, whatever, 47 comment that just says, "Pin please, parentheses. Sorry for spamming, even it's showing up." End parentheses. I have no fucking clue who this person is.
What the fuck?
When I first got this comment, it was so weird because I just like looked through. I saw this. I was like, spamming. Not spamming. Spamming.
Spamming. Yeah.
But
Sorry for spamming.
Sorry for spamming. But I like was curious because, first of all, the request is weird. Just pin this comment, please. It's like, why would I do that? You have given me nothing.
Look, some people just want to feel special.
It's true. But the other thing is I went through my like comment, because I don't get a ton of comments, so I just went through my comment filters to see if this person had been spamming or something and it got caught in the filters, and it wasn't. Like there weren't any like comments that had been like caught by YouTube's autofilter or anything at all. So it seems like this person just commented this one comment and that was it. So I don't know if like they thought that.
Would you like me to shed some light on this whole enigma for you?
Sure.
So you're looking at this and thinking, I don't understand. Something's going on here, but I can't put my finger on what. Let me direct you to this guy's avatar. What shape? What shape are you seeing here?
Wait, is it holy shit? It's a triangle.
Because, yeah.
And
so what you've done here is you've actually conjured up some sort of Bill Cipher ghost through your video. Shit. And if you actually did pin this comment, he would fucking, I don't know if he dies at the end. He would revive himself or some shit.
Yeah, you haven't finished Gravity Falls yet. But have you gotten to the part where you've met Bill Cipher yet?
Nope.
I actually haven't, but I am making progress. I'm like episode 15 or something, I think.
You're so close, though.
I'm a really slow watcher.
You see, you look at this and see Bill Cipher. I look at this and see Food Pyramid, which kind of makes me want someone. Which kind of makes me want someone to take a food pyramid and make Bill Cipher out of the food pyramid.
That's something that's like some shit that would, unironically, that's like something that would be in the Book of Bill. Like there would be like a food pyramid.
That's so funny.
Like there, I don't think there is, as far as I remember, but like that is exact. Like there's like a diagram of the human body in the Book of Bill, and it's just like, this is the part that you rip out. This is the part that you invade. This is the part that looks weird, and it's like the eyeball. Like this is the part where I hang out, and it's just like this guy's a fucking freak. But
yeah.
I'm realizing now you are both people who I have in the past few months badgered to watch Gravity Falls. How successful has my attempts been on you guys?
Unsuccessful. I have not. I do apologize. I just haven't done it yet. I will, because me and my girlfriend want to watch it together.
Was up until
we just
2 weeks
haven't
ago.
done it yet.
It's unfortunate.
I would say medium successful for me because I wouldn't have watched it if you hadn't badgered me, and I haven't watched it now, but I've watched some of it. So
there you go.
That's something.
That's true. I watched New Girl on Pillar's recommendation.
Yes.
And I finished New Girl.
I was going to say earlier. I forgot. I was so shocked because when I can't remember if it was in the trailers or not, but when I first heard "Popular" from Wicked, I was like, holy shit, I know this song. Why do I know this song? I'd heard it in New Girl. It's in New Girl.
Oh,
Winston
that's
sings
so
it as
funny.
he's driving down to Mexico.
Oh my God, you're right. I remember
So I just had
part.
that one phrase of the song in my head for like years.
It was the part where
That's
he's
really
like,
So when it
funny.
came on, I was like, yeah, this is my fucking jam.
he was like, he sings the popular part, right?
Yeah, and he just goes, "Lar,"
Yeah.
and then he sings the next part.
That's awesome though. I fuck with
Yeah.
that heavy. That's so funny. I haven't watched a lot of Mean Girl. I've seen an episode here or there.
No,
and
New
I
Girl.
had no clue. What did I say?
Mean Girl.
Oh,
You
I
got
meant
Charlie
New
XCX
Girl.
on the brain.
It's another amazing
don't we
musical
all?
movie that came out this year, by the way. So
Yeah,
good.
great, perfect. I meant New Girl. I have no idea why I said Mean Girls. That's a little crazy.
Oh yeah, that's the movie as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was terrible. Don't watch it.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
I love New Girl because like New Girl is so funny to me because for the most part it's like it feels really it feels like fairly timeless, and then there's the fucking 2016 election episode. And
Yes.
Wait, what?
yes, there's an
I
episode.
don't know what
in
it
season-
was. In shows that were running like over the 2016 election, like they all signed some sort of Faustian pact with the devil. Like, we'll give you a bunch of seasons and good ratings, just so long as you all slavishly make an episode about the fucking election that ages horribly weeks after it comes out.
What the
There's
fuck?
there's an episode where Jess is Zoe Deschanel's character. Jess and her friend Cece.
Yeah.
They canvass for Hillary Clinton, and like
Oh.
it gives the impression that like everyone's gonna vote for Hillary Clinton because obviously they're in fucking California, so yeah. And the only thing I remember enjoying about that episode is that there's a joke where like they're canvassing and they find a guy who they're canvassing for who looks like Bernie Sanders, and they say, "Hey, you look like," and he's like, "Stop saying that. I don't look like him."
That's funny. Is it played by Larry David? Because
No, it's not Larry David.
Should've
Damn.
been.
But other than
No,
that,
but that reminds me of I don't know if you guys have seen it, but in 2016 when Trump won the election, what SNL did.
Yeah, I know. I saw
God,
that.
no.
Yeah, what was it?
Please
Kate
no.
McKinnon. They sent her dressed out as
No, please don't
as
describe
Hillary
it.
Clinton
I know what you're talking
and
about. I don't want to
played
hear about it.
Hallelujah
No,
on the piano.
Oh no.
Dude, even 16-year-old me with his "I'm with her" profile picture knew that was cringe as fuck.
Anyway, other than that, New Girl has aged pretty well.
Yeah.
It's just that one episode.
You know what show that I like that hasn't aged very well at all?
What's
How I
that?
Met Your Mother.
Oh my God, it's aged so badly.
Look, I love that fucking show. It is they say some crazy shit in that show, and they do some crazy
I
shit.
just mostly remember like just it being really, really transphobic.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
probably.
it's a piece of media from
Probably.
more than 10 years ago. Like,
It's gonna be
transphobia
transphobic.
is part of the course. They don't let you make it unless there's some digs in there.
Do you? But yeah, that kind of that does suck. But Pillar, do you have a comment that you want to share in the middle of this?
Look, I'm going to be real with you. I've had so many comments over the past month or so that it's like the entire population of fucking Uruguay has looked on and like thrown some mildly mean thing my way. So I've got a whole pile I can.
Uruguay catching strays, apparently.
More
Real?
like
True,
you're a
true.
gay.
Oh.
Oh. Sorry, Uruguay.
No, I almost-
You're a very good country.
I almost went with
think. I don't know
Uzbekistan
anything
just
about
then.
you.
Good thing I didn't. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had those fire zingers, you know. But yeah, no, I've got all sorts of comments. If we were running a bit less long already, I have all sorts we could have got into. But I think I'll save some of the ones which lead off into their own kind of interesting discussions for another time. I guess one thing I did want to talk about was so one interesting example that isn't from the sloppy economics video I did recently that is really the core of this, but is from the video I put out at time of recording last night. So
Yeah, the
this is
AI
on my
one.
video. Yeah, the AI video. And Swanchair UH says, quote, "I accidentally used AI," end quote. "There, I saved you 33 minutes of filler." And let me tell you, I'll send this to the chat in a minute as well. Let me tell you, a few weeks ago, this would have like got under my skin. I would have been in the replies. I would have been, what do you mean? What are you talking about? How have you watched the video and come away with that? Do you have soup for a brain? But like, as a result of, because I did this video, Slop Economics, and it did really well. Not like the best of videos ever done, but I think it's had one of the best starts of videos ever done. And like compared to the ones I did in the summer that did really well, like about Mr. Bircham, the comments on me criticizing a show like Mr. Bircham, the comments I'm getting there, understandably, are less negative towards me. I think I made a video on the slop topic is contentious, right? And that shouldn't shock anyone. But the combination of that and this YouTube deciding this was going to get infinity views just meant that every time I open my phone to check stats or like check analytics or something, which you have to do if you're a YouTuber, you got to keep an eye on things. I was just getting blasted with people just saying anything that came to mind, man. So like. I was previously, my mindset was I will always try and read as many comments as I can. Like prior to this month, if you left a comment on one of my videos, 95% chance I'm seeing it. I don't always have time to reply to them, but if there was something that like was confused by something I said in the video or like something I had to set straight, I would always try and do that. I'd always try and engage with people who are being nice, blah, blah, blah. But just the square tonnage of mind-boggling stuff that's been thrown my way this month, I have been Jokerfied, right? This video is my Joker stares from 2019's movie The Joker, starring the Joker, right? So many comments have been made. Some just like kind of jokily, but also lots really meanly of like, no, actually, this video's slop because it's kind of long and you were sponsored, and also it was just I don't even know. And like I went into this trying to be like good faith, trying to engage with it. And I started off being like, okay, why do you think that? People saying, oh, I've heard all of this before. And I'd reply like, okay, which videos have you seen that have been saying these things? Because I'm interested. And some people gave me videos to look at and I watched the videos and they said nothing in fucking common. Most people didn't reply. And then it got to this point where someone says, oh, you say this, but this. And then I reply, okay, what do you mean by that? And he gives me a timestamp of this video that I made. And then he explains the timestamp he's giving me by writing the exact fucking opposite of what I say at the timestamp. So that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And ever since that point...
YouTube's planning it to you.
Yeah, no, exactly. But like just saying like the opposite of the thing I say at that point, like saying your video's slop by your own criteria, here's the timestamp, and then saying the opposite of what I say there. So I've crossed the threshold, which I think most kind of full-time YouTubers get to after a point, which is, yeah, I'm just not going to try and read all the comments. I'm just going to, if I see a couple, fine, but you guys can fucking do what you like down there. That's your space now. I'm not going to go down there.
You've broken him.
So this comment from Swanshare UH, who's saying that this is 33 minutes of filler, despite it being some of the trickiest research and I think best weaving together of a rabbit hole kind of deep dive I've done. I'm just going to let it sit. And I screenshotted it for this discussion because I think it's a good example of my Jokerfication. But like. Yeah, okay. I'm now the video SAS2 laughs, That's going to happen to me. I'm going to see these and I'm just going to be like, that's a real good
mindset to take going into 2025, into the new year.
Yeah, I agree.
We just got to Jokerify ourselves.
I used to I feel like every YouTuber does this, right? Where they like take every comment to heart when they first start out. Now I've gone to the point where if I get like a really, really negative comment, I'll just pin it to the top of my video, and I won't reply or anything. I'll just pin it and I'll let everybody else do it. Like there was one, I didn't pin this one, but there was one. It was like, dude, I love your videos, but in case anybody that's listening that doesn't know my content, I have this bit that I do in every video where in order to get people to subscribe, I say that I'm running for People Magazine's Sexiest Man
Alive. I was going to ask,
which is a miracle. It is a travesty that you haven't won yet.
I know, it's bullshit. It's really fucking stupid. But it's like a stupid bit that I thought would be funny, that I just haven't given up with for the past year.
You gotta have a bit.
So
Yeah.
And I think it works for me because most people know that I'm not being serious about it. But I got this comment and it was like, I love your content, but that sexiest man alive thing is super cringe. And instead of being like, oh, what the hell are you saying? I was just like, you're just mad because you're not as sexy as I am. And then like everybody started replying to it and like defending me and stuff. And it was very funny. But there was, I can't remember what it was, but there was one comment that I had pinned to my video because I was just like, this is so dumb and stupid. And anybody that knows me or like watches my videos is going to disagree with whatever the fuck you just said.
I mean, I saw someone on Blue Sky, I can't remember who it was, some video assist, maybe like Jack Saint or Hoots or, someone like that, made this point that if you are at the point where you're getting any sort of moderate to large number of comments on like a YouTube channel or anything else really, you have to have this kind of dual mindset of like, yeah, I like it when regular viewers engage with the content. I really hope people do. But also you have to hold that in your mind alongside this kind of construction of the commenter that is just, that comes to be like from this amorphous sludge of people being fucking absolutely hog wild, You have to like... you have to be grateful for engagement, but you also have to view the YouTube commenter as this fucking stupid bastard that you cannot stand.
Yeah.
And that has to be okay.
No, exactly.
That coexistence has to be fine, Otherwise, you will lose your mind and you will fall into a vat of acid and you will climb up and down some steep stairs for all time.
No, absolutely.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, it's like you gotta kind of conceptualize the fact that this is like that the average YouTube commenter is like dumber than rocks. It's this kind of, you kind of have to accept that.
I mean, that's very evident with the last video I put out. There was a glare from my light in my glasses the whole time. And like, I've gotten like 20 comments being like, you need to clean your glasses. Clean your fucking glasses, dumbass. And it's like, it's the light. What do you mean? Like, how can you not tell that it's just a reflection? Like, how dumb and stupid are you
that's what
you can't tell that it's just a reflection?
Have you never got like a photon stuck in your glasses? Like, we've all been there. You just walk along.
But like, that's why this whole segment is here, right? That's like what this whole thing is like.
This is our safe space.
Yeah, this is our... This is the kind of the conceptualizing the fact is that comments are always like, especially when we're smaller, like I know I'm the smallest person here, numbers wise.
Yeah, just a dinky little guy.
I don't know. I'm only 5'11".
That wasn't necessary. That was.
Oh my god, really I'm 5'11" too.
I'm like.
Oh shit, 5'11".
I'm 6'3". I'm 6'3".
Holy shit.
I'm not
6'3"
joking.
centimeters.
Oh.
That's crazy. That's actually kind of scary a little bit.
Real world TSD isn't real. He can't hurt you.
That's true. I just like
real world TSD is 6'3".
Okay, have you guys ever seen Veep? Have you guys ever seen?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it very, very soon.
Okay,
though.
well, there's a guy in it.
I didn't.
Jonah Ryan, like the guy who plays Jonah. He's like freakishly tall, and like he looks like I do. Like whenever he's in a crowd scene, I'm like, that's me.
That's funny. That's really funny. I purposefully didn't watch Veep because of the election, and people were like, "Oh, but it's so similar," and I was like, "I can't do it."
Yes, that is not a good thing.
No, I don't want it to be similar. That's the problem.
But the anyways, numbers wise thing is that comments get to you more when you're younger.
Oh yeah.
When you're a younger channel, when you're a smaller channel, when you're a little baby, and so I think that part of this, what this kind of discussion is not to say that like every person who ever leaves a YouTube comment ever is like, in not worth listening to or whatever. But it is...
just to be clear, that's not what we think at all, because the reason we do this podcast is because we have a small engaged audience, right? The people who listen to this podcast
especially
are the
people comments
that
on this,
maybe we talk to in the comments or in Discord. Yeah.
On this channel that these episodes are uploaded on. And I think that like it's just that what this does is kind of help us like talk through our feelings and our thoughts about what it is like, because humans aren't built to get this level of input from this many people all at once. Mm-hmm. And I think that talking through these and like laughing about them, but also genuinely talking about like what we think about what these people think and what these people are saying and everything kind of helps kind of conceptualize that and help that. I'm just
get
saying
through the golden shower.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I also just want to say I love your pinning the thing that you said, Connor, about pinning stupid comments, and I shared in the chat. This comment is this
Your
comment
opinions are horrible.
This comment doesn't exist anymore because I pinned it like 30 minutes after it went up. This was on my X-Men video. I pinned it 30 minutes after it went up.
That's funny.
And then the person deleted it after I pinned it.
Your opinions are made horrible, and the points don't matter.
And I love that as well, because it's like you're giving this person just like one tiny fraction of the kind of exposure and like kind of potential embarrassment that creators feel when you step in front of the camera or the microphone.
Yeah.
You're giving them just a sliver of the limelight, and they instantly wither under it. Now imagine being the guy in the video. Fancy that. Maybe you wouldn't say TSD's opinions are you are horrible and made horrible and points don't matter after that.
Especially since like I spent like 3 months on that video, and that I put myself
and what a
on
weird
camera
video
for 3 hours.
to be so kind of vitriolic for. Like,
yeah, that's like so
that's
strange.
not like a real hot take. It's not some like bitingly sort of controversial political kind of.
Let's be fair. I do say that I'm not a huge fan of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in that video.
That's true. That's true. This is true.
That's which is a very incorrect take, but that's fine.
I'm so sorry. Connor, have you seen this video? Did you watch my 3-hour X-Men video? Did you ever sit down and?
I think I watched at least the first 30 minutes of it.
You didn't even get to the good part. There's this overarching.
I gotta watch it.
There's this overarching narrative. I'm still selling this video to people 4 months after I made it.
No, that's what you gotta do, because I'm gonna go watch it now. You're absolutely you got me excited.
Yeah. But I've got another video I'm working on that I want to take a lot of inspiration from this video in terms of like the structure of it and the kind of more storytelling like format I kind of use for it. Not spoiling anything for you, Connor, but you know what I'm talking about, Pillar. Because he's seen it.
This is a witch hunt, and I don't like it.
It is a witch hunt. You are literally Elphaba. Your skin is green. Oh, what I did want to say about Wicked, I promise that I will move on after it, but Defying Gravity, even though there's issues with it, it's amazing to see it on screen. That's cool. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's too long. I wasn't a big fan of the younger
She kept
Elphaba.
flying back.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. Like,
It's like I get it.
Just go.
2 times
just
is
leave.
fine. You want to reprise. You want to make your point, but it's like, oh yeah, she's flown away and come back 5 times. If I'm one of these soldiers, I'm trying to grab her. After the 4th time, she'll be back around.
That's why they say kill her in the movie instead of get her like they say in the musicals, because she keeps coming back.
Yeah, it's just pissing them off even more.
Do we have any other comments we want to move on, or do you want to go to like?
I had a few, but I think we should probably go to questions.
Yeah.
Comments are kind of like wine, they just get better with age.
That's so true. All right.
Except
questions.
I don't like wine.
I'm just gonna move past that.
Look, man, I don't really.
I like
drink
when you
alcohol.
get the grape and you put the grape in the barrel.
It's the barrel. It's the barrel. What?
I'll drink a Malbec. I'll drink a Shiraz.
I was trying to say the bumper. The bumper. Why can't I say?
The bumper.
The bumper.
The stinger.
The stinger. Yes. Oh my God. I can't.
How we get
That's
the
the
stinger
bumper.
from barrel?
I can't fucking speak. I'm having my media literacy moment.
What is your favorite superhero? How long is a piece of string? Where do we go when we die? Why won't my son talk to me anymore? Questions.
I took the liberty of going to when we confirmed you to be as our next guest. I did what I normally do, and went into the Pillar of Garbage Discord server, specifically the PoGcast Q&A channel, and I asked if anyone had any specific questions for you, Connor McDowell. And
Oh Jesus.
I think that the people who asked the questions didn't quite know who you were. But some of them did. There was one person who did. Actually, that was a lie.
Hell yeah.
There was one person who did. From Not Quite Cool, a frequent question asker, and asks very good questions, I'll add, asked a question for you that is directed specifically towards Connor, but can be applied to both of us, Pillar and I, if needed. I guess the question for Connor specifically, since he does topical stuff a lot, but relevant to both POG and TSD, how much do you consider the uniqueness of your take when discussing a topical oh my god, I can't read. How do you...
Media literacy.
How much do you consider the uniqueness of your take when discussing topical topics? Do you ever not make a video or a point within a video if you feel that too many people before you have made it?
That's actually a very good question.
Right?
Because the answer
not quite cool.
The answer for the second half of the question is yes and no. Sometimes if I feel like I have nothing to say or add to the conversation, I just won't make the video. I just straight up just won't do it because it feels pointless for me to do that. You know what I mean? Because at that point, then I become kind of slop. The uniqueness of my take when discussing topical topics, I feel like I just have a different point of view than a lot of people that make YouTube videos because I hate to say this, but like coming from a musical theater background, I view things very, very differently than a lot of people do. So like, for instance, like, oh fuck, how do I explain this? So a lot of YouTubers are not musical theater people, right? I think that's a fair assessment. So a lot of people that are talking about things that are happening currently in the now aren't usually coming at it from a more progressive side of it. They're coming at it from more of a reactionary where they may be progressive people, but because of my background and because I've gotten to work with so many different people of different backgrounds, and I've been very lucky and fortunate of that, I just feel like I have a more nuanced take about most things than a lot of other people do. Not like video essayists, of course, but like people that just like set up a microphone to talk. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying. Like the kind of the genre that you're inheriting of like more commentary, off the cuff kind of content doesn't have that kind of perspective as much.
Exactly. Like if you look at, I can't use him as an example anymore, but I will just for the sake of things. If you look at like Cody Ko, right? His thing was he would do things off the cuff too, right? Like I think you would be hard pressed to find a Cody Ko video that is scripted. Whereas I come from, I want to come at it from a way of,
Not a frat bro.
Exactly. No, that's exactly it. Like I want.
Like, we don't need to mince words about Cody Ko. He's a frat.
No, yeah, I didn't want to be a frat bro about it. One, because I'm not a frat bro, and two, because I am a way more sensitive person than I would say a lot of people that make YouTube videos are. Or at least ones that I see. Like I am a very, very, very sensitive person. So like I try to make sure that I'm not offending, like I'm not trying to offend people when I make videos. Yes, I'll make fun of people, but I'm never gonna do like a that's cringe.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm never gonna just make fun of somebody for the sake of making fun of somebody. I always have to have something to say on top of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think saying musical theater background is not what I meant. I just meant like from somebody who has both worked in musical theater and is like a script writer, it's basically my job to observe people. Do you know what I mean? So like I observe all of these different ways that people like interact with each other and like just different ways that people talk to try to mold those into different characters that I'm writing. And I feel like most people just don't take the time to do that which I think works in my advantage when making videos.
Yeah, I think that like
Is what I was trying to say in that very long-winded way of answering the question.
No. Long-windedness is not something we're scared. We're not new to. Oh my God, I still can't speak.
Nice, good job proving the point.
But but I think I see what you're saying about musical theater though, is because like I feel like a lot of people in like video essay spaces kind of come from academia a little bit, not necessarily not necessarily like I'm from Harvard, but I mean like Pillar, you went to, I can't remember, are you still going to university or did you graduate already?
No, I finished up with that a while ago.
Okay,
yeah, I've got
you got a degree in
English BA and MA. Yeah. Literature.
So I think that
and a lot of people are from a similar strain, and I mean coming at it from even a different background of studying something is going to give you a different point of view. And I see what you mean about your kind of content style, more so than the video essay kind of stuff, because a lot of people do, they just turn on the microphone and they yap because they want to yap, not because they want to observe things and weigh in. And, I feel like it's probably not necessarily just limited to people coming from musical theater or anything, but that is obviously something that in your case has given you the a desire to observe something and formulate an opinion before you start yapping, and to try and be empathetic to the kind of human side of it alongside that.
No, exactly. Like something that I try to always keep in mind when, say, if I'm doing a video like on conservatives, who I am not a fan of, I try to understand that they are people that have succumbed to propaganda. You know what I mean? And I always try to keep that in mind when talking about it. So, like, yes, I will say things that are mean, but I always, like, in my videos, I try to say, like, hey, they're still people. You know what I mean? Like, they're not like creatures. Whereas a lot of YouTubers I watch don't really
it's
think that
don't care to
or
make
take
that distinction.
Like I think
and
that
sometimes I forget. Like in the video that I made today and is hopefully going to come out later today, I'm making fun of people. I don't think I mentioned one time that these are people and they need, do you know what I mean? Like I just made fun of people in this
Connor
video.
dehumanizes everyone he talks about, okay? He is an evil
He doesn't think
little...
people who don't subscribe to his woke progressive agenda even count as human.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is just to try to build community within YouTube, and that's where I get a lot of my joy from, is just knowing that people care about my specific opinions, whether they be the same as what other people are saying, or if I have like a different take about it.
Yeah,
whether they disagree with me on them or don't.
And I think that that is an approach that like personally I probably wouldn't take. Like and this is not like a criticism of you. I'm just saying that like I feel like, especially with like content creation and public relations and communications, because those are all I was a communications major, and one thing that I've found is that people have different strengths with how they communicate with people and how they convey themselves to other people. And this is especially true in entertainment. And I think that there, especially in online, like left-leaning spaces, there's this kind of desire to have everyone have the same approach to everything, especially like morally, how we talk about things. And I think that it's good that the best way to like really build community is to have people who have this different varying approaches. Like there could be someone like Connor who viciously bullies all of his targets, and also have someone who tries to be empathetic to like, almost in the kind of the opposite direction of like tries to be empathetic to almost like in, I don't want to say absurd degree, because that like that's not that's like judgmental, but like in a way of like
no, but I know what you mean.
Like it feels like it can be like, it feels like it can be, feels like it's ineffectual even if it's not ineffectual, but it can feel like that to people. And like just having that wide approach to different perspectives, and even though you have self-admitted that your style's a bit more like I think the word you used was like mean, but I don't know if that's like the correct term, but there's whatever. It's a bit more harsh, but I feel like that because you have this perspective of I'm trying to approach everyone as like a human being, as a person, and I feel like that is a good core for everyone to have. Is just like at the end of the day, we're all people talking to each other about, you know, other people and how the world affects us, and you know. We make jokes, we like talk about things, we make hyperbolic statements, but at the end of the day, as long as we remember that, I think that is what keeps us, you know, together.
No, exactly. So like people are people, right? And since I'm also a person, that means that I have the right to make fun of these other people for being dumbasses, but they're still people. You know what I mean? Like I can
Yeah,
sit
and some
here
people
and
need
make
to be
fun
hit
of
in the
somebody.
head with a brick.
No, exactly. Yes. If I'm
Because they're letting the side down.
What is that? I'm sorry.
Just like, you know, bouncing off your point, you know, this fucking Elon Musk or someone, you know, he's a person. That means some things, but one of the things it means is, hey, you're a person, I'm a person too. You're kind of betraying the rest of us by being as much of a kind of sniveling pile of, you know, feces as you are.
Exactly.
So like, on the one hand, you got to be empathetic, but you also can't baby people.
Something that I really, really, I'm not saying that what I'm doing is anywhere close to what Sebastian Stan did, but Sebastian Stan talking about his work in The Apprentice, saying that I think it's important that we humanize Trump, not to make him a sympathetic character, but to recognize that he is one of us. He is not like an untouchable being that exists outside of space and time. Like he's human, just like we are. And I think that that's the thought process that I like to put into my videos, even if I don't say it the best. Like even if I'm not the
kind
best
of reifying
communicator with
people
those
into
things.
like supremely kind of divine transcendent symbols of evil. That, you know, that's ultimately that's not helpful in any way to any of the projects we're trying to pursue.
Yeah, I need to. I still need to see that movie. I still need to see that movie.
Oh, it's good. It's a good movie. It's good because of the two actors in it. But I think that me acknowledging that people are human does not absolve.
Yeah,
I'm not like a kindness all around, be nice to every single person. No, if you are saying transphobic shit, I am going to be mean to you. You know? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a thing. It's like I really respect that approach. I think that's an approach that has a place. And again, not criticizing. It's not necessarily an approach that I would take. And I think that's cool because we both have our different approaches to these different things. I
You need a multiversity of tactics because we don't know what works, you know?
Because I just feel like that as long as we're all on the same kind of general, like this general side of like, well, this is what our core, you know, community.
Yeah, these things are important. We need to try and get to a place where things are less fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we kind of
touch on. Oh, sorry.
I think we kind of got off topic from the original question, but I think that
I can give like a lightning answer to this if you want.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like maybe like wrap it up a little bit. I think this is an important discussion, but it's just, you know.
Yeah, so like drawing it back closer to the question itself, where I used to come at this more from the angle of trying to make my video on X topic like be one of the definitive topics. I would always kind of put that pressure on myself, like, oh, video on community and the Christmas sing-along episode and the war on Christmas. I want to make it so, you know, I want to really try that no one would ever have to make another video with that focus again, because I want to, you know, be the one that covers that ground. But like lately, I'm trying to step away from feeling that way, because it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself when you're writing something to try and, you know, be the final word on something. And also, you know, you're never going to be the final word on something, so why even try, you know? So these days, I don't try and be the video on a topic. I try and be a video on a topic, and I try and say one specific take on something as well as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that is like the most important mindset to have when making videos, because there's no stopping somebody from seeing your video and then making another video that is very, very similar to that. Do you know what I mean? So
Can I just bounce in there real quick before this is going to draw us out again? But there's a video doing the rounds at the moment, which is, I think it's by Dark Matter 2525, and it's why I stopped being anti-woke. So I don't know if you guys have got that in your recommended. But I had it in mind for a few days and I watched it.
I haven't, no.
Well, you might see it over the next few days. I think it's like it's climbing up there views-wise.
Oh, hell yeah.
But,
I mean, I love those videos. Oh, wait, is it, I think I know. I think I did see it, actually, maybe. Is it the guy in front of a green
watched
screen?
it earlier. I don't think he's in front of the green screen. He's just kind of sitting at a desk talking. But
maybe I
watched it earlier, and I really feel like at some point in the last month or so, he watched one of my old videos that's like doing really well, like on the back end algorithmically. It's like gone up like 100K in the past few weeks. It's like 400 something K. So like it's very feasible he's seen this because it's, it's taking off. And it's kind of the certain ways he kind of talks about things and certain pieces of imagery he uses and certain techniques and examples he gives. It's just like, not to a point where it's plagiarism or something, but I was watching it. I was thinking, okay, yeah, I think you have seen my video.
Like you think like you can see your influence in his video.
Yeah,
wow.
It feels like he had these ideas boiling.
You're just assuming that.
It feels like he had these ideas in his head with his own experience, and then he saw my video and he was like, "Oh, I want to make a video like that." Not in a bad way. Like this feels really catty for me.
Because I think if that is true, and he did see your video, and you had the ability to leave an impact on him like that, I see that as like a much more positive thing than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like now he's taking maybe ideas which came in part from me, although, obviously I wasn't the first person to say those things exactly either. But now they're reaching hundreds of thousands more people. So that's pretty cool. And I mean,
that's
if it was a more conventional video essay, it might have been nice to get a mention in the description or something. But I'm not super pressed about the description mention.
Pillars demanding that Dark Matter 2025 give him credit.
It's a good. I just think it's a good and timely example of like you're never gonna have the final word on something, and if you do the best job possible, then that makes it even less likely because you're going to propel further discussions.
Yeah, like actually a great example of that is because been thinking about it because yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of it happening. But the H-Bomber guy plagiarism video, that video is comprehensive as shit. But it was nowhere near the final word on that because it itself was.
And some of the things that came afterwards are really good in themselves.
Yeah,
it's been a year since that already.
Yeah, it was December 3rd, 2023.
Oh my God, where's his next video then?
It's so true. but because that video was really comprehensive and it was a really good video essay, but it in itself made a splash and almost created the conversation.
It sparked more discussions than it closed. Yeah.
Especially around James Somerton.
Oh my God, I don't even want to think about him.
But I think that was a really good discussion. That was a really great answer to that question. So I guess like the kind of summary to answer Not Quite Cool's original question, we're kind of saying that like it doesn't really matter how unique your take is, because like if you have something you want to say and you feel like it isn't being said, then you should say it. And even if you feel like it is being said, if you feel like it's not being said in the way that you would say it and you want to say it that way, you should say it, because you're never going to be the end. You're never going to be the beginning of a conversation or the end of a conversation, unless in very, very specific circumstances. So I feel like
and it's pretty fucking hubristic to think otherwise.
Yeah, just throw your hat in the ring. Just do what you want to do. Another question from Nemo Bush no, oh my God, I can't read. Nemo Bush statue.
Nemo Bush statue.
What is the take that you were the most wrong on, in your opinion, Connor McDowell, and the whole crew, if they want to answer?
Oh, God. My opinion, like
that's
that
I've had on one.
What's your biggest sin?
When were you the most fucking stupid?
What is the?
What's your greatest sin?
I can take it to start with if you're still thinking.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I gotta look through my videos real quick and see if there's anything that hasn't aged well.
The thing that always springs to mind for me is I made a video about X-Men Evolution just when I was starting out. And I just, every time I think of a video that I wouldn't make these days, or like a video I would approach differently, or a video I want to make not public anymore, I might have delisted it, I can't remember, is that one just springs to mind, because I was, I wasn't very generous, and it's nothing big, like I didn't make any claims that were wrong or anything. But the reason I bring that up as an interesting answer is that I think I made that video in part because people were asking for that kind of video, and that's not really something I've really done since. So I think to take this into a maybe more interesting for me direction, I feel like if you're putting more of yourself into a take and it's more of a personal take, and you turn it into an analysis you really care about, and you really sort of try authentically to make, I think it's never going to age that badly, because even if stuff comes out that make it look worse in retrospect, it was always a more truthful representation of you at the time.
Oh, I do think I have an answer. Now that you said that, I think I got an answer to it. But if you have like a super hyper specific.
Oh no, I'm done. I'm wrapped up now.
I have something, but
Okay,
I'll wait
cool.
until Connor does his first.
So, when I made my video about Tony Hinchcliffe at the Trump rally, I had said that I don't know if this is going to have any effect on the election at all. And I was very wrong, because it had absolutely zero effect on the election. It's a video that already has not aged the best on my channel, and I released it last month.
That's awesome. That's so good.
Or I guess in October at this point now, but
Wait, how could you
no,
release
I
it
still
last month
stand
if the
by.
Trump election was in 2016?
Oh, you're right.
Wait, I gotta check the news real quick. Hold on. Fuck.
But yeah, I think that's one. Also, maybe something I said. Oh, definitely in my Wicked video, I said that I didn't think that this movie was going to be a major Oscar contender. Completely changed my mind on that now. This is going to get nominated for a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
At the very least, Ariana Grande is going to get like a supporting actress nomination. At the very least.
I don't have a doubt in my mind now that this is going to get a Best Picture nomination this year.
Yeah, honestly.
Like I personally maybe wouldn't put it up there, but I think it will 100%, just like Barbie did.
Because like
Barbie, I think, is a much better film, but
I think that the three kind of big movies this year have been like outside of film circles where stuff like The Substance has made a lot of splash, but like
so fucking good.
Love The Substance.
I need to see The Substance.
Substance was so good.
I need to see The Substance.
The Substance and Honora are two of the best films I've seen this year.
But like the three movies that I think that have made the biggest splash in like at least in the minds of the general public right now this year have been Dune Part 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Deadpool was the big one,
Yeah.
and Wicked. Those
And
are the
Wicked,
three.
it's got to be Wicked. Yeah.
But Deadpool's not going to get nominated.
Right.
For fucking
Deadpool's not getting nominated. And the winner for Best
shit.
Picture is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
They should do
never
an
in a
Oscar for
million
Best
years.
Cajun accent.
No, I agree, and it should go to
Deadpool wouldn't even win that one though.
But I think that it's definitely gonna get Oscar noms. This really is the Wicked episode, huh? We were kind of intending it to be.
Do you have a stinky take?
Oh yeah, I have a couple of things actually. These are like varying levels. First of all, there's just videos that haven't aged very well. Like the video that I'm thinking of is actually delisted because do you guys remember Arcade Craniacs? Do you know who I'm talking about when I say that?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, I know who Arcade Craniacs is.
Okay,
Right? I at least remember watching a video about this person.
So Arcade Craniacs is the guy who was like in 2021, I want to say, was making like Among Us potions at
Yes, Among Us potions video. Yeah,
that guy,
yeah.
that guy.
That's exactly. I know who it is.
I made a video about him that was like, because this was in my more commentary focused era. I made a video about him that was like, these videos are so ridiculous, but it's clear that he's having a lot of fun, and I respect him for that. I have a lot of respect for him for that. And then like a month later, it turned out that he had groomed his girlfriend, and I was like,
No!
Many such cases.
Oh my god!
And then I
Wow.
unlisted that. And his girlfriend actually, Nikki Carrion, who is now a fairly successful commentary YouTuber in her own right. So Check her out.
Oh, what? Really?
I don't think you should
Yeah.
feel bad. Like, as a general rule, you can't feel bad about saying something about a YouTuber
Yeah,
and it turning out that they're like an
that's one
abuser,
that's just,
because
like,
just
aged
everyone's a
poorly.
fucking abuser, you know? It's like you're lucky if they're not an abuser.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm
not us
beating a
three.
child up as we speak right now.
oh no, Pillar, no. But the other
Wait, I didn't know. No, I'm subscribed to her. I didn't know that was his girlfriend.
yeah, that was her backstory. She was his girlfriend, but she was like 19 and he was like 28. So
That's crazy because I do watch her videos. I even follow her on Letterboxd. I had no idea. That's fucking crazy.
yeah.
Respect though. That's awesome.
Like if you go back and you watch, like, I don't know if there are any Arcade Craniacs videos left around, but if you want to go back and watch it, she's in like most of them. She's like
Wow.
She's yeah. But then she took a very different career path after that. So I respect
I don't
respect
blame her.
respect for women in STEM. But the other thing I had was that this is one that's more in line with what you were talking about, Pillar, about how like something that you personally aren't proud of based off of like your own analysis rather than something just aging poorly.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of my Scrubs video. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that one, but
I'm saving that for when I watch Scrubs.
my first ever like hour-long video essay I made was like a retrospective on Scrubs, and it is still one of my favorite shows. I still really like it. It's like the only medical show that I like. Although
No, it's a really funny show.
yeah, and it's really funny, and like it's also apparently shockingly medically accurate, which I didn't realize. But
Yeah.
that's funny.
Unlike House.
Like House, yeah. But the thing that I'm not proud of with that video is that, obviously it's a sitcom that came out in the 2000s, and as we've mentioned in this very episode, that means that there's parts that haven't aged awesomely.
Yeah.
And in that video, I feel like I kind of just gloss over that. I feel like there's like a segment that's like problematic elements, but I'm just like, yeah, but then there's this part, and I don't really like that. But then like the rest of the show is pretty good. So, and then I spend the rest of the video talking about the shows.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that's a bad thing.
But I think that
Yeah, I mean, if every discussion of older media had to have the requisite,
But, like,
I don't like it when they say the slurs section, they would
Look,
all
I mean,
be
you did at
unworkably
least-
long.
Yeah, at least you had a section that said, "Hey, I didn't like
Yeah.
this part," but
I think that my issue
Most
is
people
that
just
I
wouldn't
absolving
do
you of the
that.
guilt.
I feel thank you guys. But I just feel like I didn't address it very well. It's like my thing is that like I felt like if I was making that video today, I probably wouldn't have had like a 20-minute segment being like, this is every issue that I don't that like A isn't aged poorly. But I feel like I give it more. I kind of give it a lot of slack of being like, oh, but it was of its time, kind of a thing. And looking back on it, I feel like I could have been slightly more critical and been like, this is how I would have approached it, and I would have talked about like the creator Bill Lawrence's like later work, where he made he co-created Clone High, but he also made Ted Lasso, and he made Shrinking. And I think that those shows are shows that have a lot of the same elements from Scrubs that I really, really love, but they've also done a good job of getting rid of like the old problematic parts, kind of a thing that I don't like. And it feels like an evolution of that writing style. And I wish that if I had known more about Ted Lasso, because Ted Lasso was out at that point, but I don't think I had watched it. I wish that in retrospect, what I would have done is that I would have made that segment be more about how I know this was, obviously not intentional and obviously not meant to be offensive or whatever, but I would have talked about like how I feel like this writing style has evolved over the years from this creator who's clearly learned from his mistakes. And I think that would have been an interesting way to talk about it rather than just like, it's in the past, kind of a thing.
Well, hey.
sounds like you
Maybe
get to
that's the
write
next Scrubs
another
video.
video.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. No, wait, please.
Do it.
Back to the content machine.
Yeah.
Look, hey, can I jump in and say something right now?
Sure.
Yeah.
TSD, you do a lot of good prep work on this podcast. For the listeners, it's mostly TSD. Selecting out the questions, doing this and that. I want to say I respect that you've probably picked out a couple more.
I only have
But
one
also,
more.
I was going to say, sometimes questions are good if you save them, especially if you're overrunning a little bit and one of the podcasters is camped out in the bedroom and it's 20 past 10 and his girlfriend's got to get up for work.
Oh. All right.
You know, not just to kind of, you know.
Just a hypothetical.
Yeah, and I got to let my girlfriend out of the bedroom, so she's been locked in.
Got to let her run around.
No. I love you, Morgan.
That's fair.
You know, back to the moral of the episode being all creators are abusers.
No. I do a lot of prep work, Pillar. You know, I really appreciate that. You know, a lot of people don't know this, but I basically make the show all by myself. You two aren't even really here. I'm just hallucinating in my yard.
You're kind of like
That would
a
make for a
hamster
fun
I've got
YouTube
running
video,
around in a wheel in a cage, and the wheel is the podcast, and the cage is shit. That snow globe thing from that episode of whatever it was, you know, where the kids like
Twilight Zone.
This whole TV show was in the.
Oh yeah. The whole,
you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I couldn't tell you the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
All right. Well,
I think that's a good place to wrap up.
Yeah, I think we could have. I think a nice thing is that we could have gone on for a lot longer if we didn't have like
You gotta leave the audience wanting more.
Yeah, we could probably have you back at some point, Connor.
Yeah, I would definitely love to come back.
Yeah, we should probably have some other guests who we've promised to have back before then. But you know,
this is a reference
There's
to the
always a
series
spot in the
finale of the
core.
NBC drama Saint Elsewhere.
Yes, that's the one. The program that none of us have ever watched.
Nope, I
even
watched a
was Saint
YouTube video
Elsewhere?
on it though.
we've all watched that one. We've all watched that one Vox video essay from 10 years ago.
Yes. They could imagine the whole show, but there were crossovers, so it turns out that the entire fictional like broadcast output of every major TV studio ever is in this one kid's imagination.
A hell of imagination.
And we're in it too. We're in your imagination, kid, listening to this.
All right. Well, if we're gonna
TSD's
end...
really trying to end the episode, but he can't because if he stops the episode, we stop existing.
told me
in your
to end
head.
the episode. Pillar, you told me to end
Get out
the
me
episode.
head.
This is your fault. Okay.
Kind of quirky. You can't tie me down like that.
Should have your own sitcom that could be in that snow globe too. All right. Thank you all so much for listening.
I thought we were ending the episode, TSD. What are you doing? Why are you wasting all that time like
Shut
this?
the fuck up, dude. All right. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode. We post new episodes on every other Friday. You know, exceptions may apply. Don't forget to follow us on whatever platform you're listening to us on. If you're on YouTube, toss us a like if you liked and comment if you had any thoughts. And you can comment on Spotify as well. I didn't realize until Spotify for Creators made a notification. It was like, hey, remind your audience that you can comment on Spotify. And I was like, cool. Now I know. Leave us a review on no matter platform you're on. Feel free to share the show with anyone you think might like it. All of these help support the show and ensure future episodes. Connor McDowell you can find on YouTube as Connor McDowell and on Letterboxd as Connor McDowell. It's very consistent branding. You can find Pillar on YouTube, Twitter, and Blue Sky, all under Pillar of Garbage. He also has a Discord server that should be linked in the description where you can have your own questions.
And you can find me on Twitter as @ElonMusk.
Yeah.
No, it's you.
Oh, God.
It was you the whole time.
But he also has a Discord server that should be linked in the description where you can have your own questions in the hashtag PoGcast Q&A channel read on the pod. You can find me on YouTube, Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, and all others under TSD Talks. We also both have Patreon pages that, among other cool perks, allow you to listen to episodes of the show early, usually whenever we finish them. And with that out of the way, I'm TSD Talks.
Pillar of Garbage, me.
Connor McDowell.
And this has been the Pillar of Garbage podcast.
Bye.